हर टीम ग्रैंड फाइनल्स में ये बिलीव करके आती है कि वो चैंपियन बन सकती है, लेकिन टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग जो उस वक्त अपने ओरिजिनल बैनर टीम हिंद के नाम से खेल रही थी, उनकी कहानी थोड़ी अलग थी। तेज FFMIC 2026 स्प्रिंग के ग्रैंड फाइनल्स के स्टेज पर कदम रखने से काफी पहले, पहला मैच शुरू होने से पहले, पहला पॉइंट मिलने से पहले उन्होंने अपना एंडिंग इमेजिन कर लिया था। उनके लिए ट्रॉफी पहले ही उनकी थी। ये ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं था, ये बिलीव था। सालों तक साथ खेलने का बिलीव, हर सेटबैक से वापस उठने का बिलीव और नॉकआउट स्टेज क्रॉस करके इंडिया की बेस्ट टीम के सामने खड़े होने का बिलीव। अब सिर्फ एक सवाल बाकी था, क्या वो बिलीव रियलिटी बन सकता था?
जो अपना FFMIC 2026 था अपना स्प्रिंग, उसमें हमने मेनली फोकस किया था अपनी 4v4 फाइट्स में। हमने जितना ज्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग कर सकते थे हमने उसको स्ट्रॉन्ग किया, अपने कोऑर्डिनेशन पे काम किया। तो फिर ऐसा हो गया था कि फिर एक टाइम पे हम कोई भी टीम को 4v4 इजिली मार दे रहे थे। उसी से फिर हमको कॉन्फिडेंस आ गया था कि 4v4 फाइट अपनी बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग है, बस जोन्स और बाकी सब चीज पे अपने को ध्यान देना है, बाकी फाइट्स तो हम निकाल ही लेंगे।
लेकिन चैंपियनशिप डिसाइड होने से पहले एक और हर्डल बाकी था, पॉइंट रश। 6 मैचेस, एक दिन, और वही डिसाइड करता था कि चैंपियनशिप डे पर हर टीम कितने हेड स्टार्ट पॉइंट्स के साथ शुरुआत करेगी। यहाँ ट्रॉफी नहीं मिलनी थी, सिर्फ मोमेंटम, और टीम हिंद ने इसी चीज को टारगेट बनाया। उन्होंने लॉबी डोमिनेट करने की कोशिश नहीं की, हर गेम में अननेसेसरी फाइट्स नहीं ली, जहां अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली वहां कैपिटलाइज किया। और जब मैच 5 आया, टीम हिंद ने पूरे पॉइंट रश का अपना बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस दिया। एक और ग्रेनेड यहाँ पर से कोकरा जाएगा,
बिल्कुल अकेले, नीचे 3 खिलाड़ी अकेले डैश करेंगे, एंड देयर कम्स द टीम हिंद विद द बूया बूया बूया।
19 एलिमिनेशन के साथ बूया, एक स्टेटमेंट गेम। दिन के एंड तक टीम हिंद ओवरऑल 3rd प्लेस पर फिनिश हुई। रिवॉर्ड मिला 5 हेड स्टार्ट पॉइंट्स।
ग्रैंड फाइनल्स में तो हमारा स्टार्टिंग में टारगेट यही था कि हमको 3 से 4 गेम में चैंपियन रश ऑन करना है, बट ऐसा हुआ कि हमारे गेम्स बहुत ज्यादा एवरेज चले गए कुछ रीजंस की वजह से।
चैंपियन रश डे की शुरुआत हुई और शुरुआती 4 मैचेस में एक बात क्लियर हो गई, ये टूर्नामेंट किसी एक टीम का नहीं होने वाला था। हर गेम का हीरो अलग था। मैच 1 में फायरईज गेमिंग ने पेस सेट किया। मैच 2 में गॉडलाइक ईस्पोर्ट्स ने लॉबी कंट्रोल कर ली। उसके बाद RNX ईस्पोर्ट्स ने बैक टू बैक बूयाज लेकर पूरा लीडर बोर्ड हिला दिया। हर मैच के बाद स्टैंडिंग्स बदल रही थी, हर फाइट टाइटल रेस को एक नई डायरेक्शन दे रही थी, और टीम हिंद वो क्वाइटली रेस के अंदर बनी रही। चैंपियन रश फॉर्मेट में कभी कभी सरवाइव करते रहना लीड करने से भी ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होता है, क्योंकि जब बाकी टीम्स एक गेम में टॉप करती और अगले गेम में क्रैश हो जाती, वहीं टीम हिंद कभी पिक्चर से बाहर नहीं हुई, वो बस अपने मोमेंट का वेट कर रही थी।
फिर उसके बाद हमको अपना गेम प्लान चेंज करना पड़ा।
फिर हमारा बरमुदा मैप आया जिसमें हमको ज्यादा एलिमिनेशंस की नीड थी, तो हमने उसी के हिसाब से उस गेम को खेला और
5th और 6th गेम में बहुत ज्यादा एग्रेसिव गए, तो उससे अपने को बहुत ज्यादा फायदा हुआ।
4 मैचेस बीत चुके थे। टीम हिंद अब भी अपने ब्रेक थ्रू का इंतजार कर रही थी, और दूसरी तरफ गॉडलाइक ईस्पोर्ट्स धीरे धीरे चैंपियनशिप के सबसे बड़े कंटेंडर्स बन के उभर चुकी थी। हर पासिंग गेम के साथ प्रेशर बढ़ता जा रहा था। अब एक और एवरेज मैच का ऑप्शन ही नहीं था। इसी बीच आई एक रोटेशन केप टाउन से कोटाटुआ की तरफ, और वही हुआ जिसने टीम हिंद के टूर्नामेंट की डायरेक्शन ही बदल दी। सीधा सामने थे डिफेंडिंग चैंपियंस iQOO टोटल गेमिंग। ये सिर्फ एक और स्क्वाड फाइट नहीं थी, iQOO टोटल गेमिंग के लिए ये चैंपियनशिप रेस में बने रहने का मौका था, और टीम हिंद के लिए ये वो फाइट थी जो उनके पूरे टूर्नामेंट को या तो जिंदा रख सकती थी या वहीं खत्म कर सकती थी।
सामने की तरफ से टीम हिंद इसके ऊपर अटैक करती हुई इस तरह से लीड आगे बढ़ते हुए बुलविन पे डाउन करने की कोशिश है। He is the last man standing because iQOO Total Gaming is yet to touch the 80 points mark। क्या माफिया अपने खिलाड़ियों को गेम के अंदर इस मुकाबले में वापस ला पाएंगे? जी नहीं। 10वें पायदान पे iQOO Total Gaming का खात्मा होता हुआ,
और उस मोमेंट के बाद पूरा मैप टीम हिंद के लिए खुल गया, और धीरे धीरे लॉबी सिर्फ 3 स्क्वाड्स तक सीमित हो गई। अब टीम हिंद सिर्फ रेस में नहीं थी, अब पूरी लॉबी को पता चल चुका था ये टीम चैंपियनशिप जीत भी सकती है।
हमको तो शुरू से ऐसे गेम की नीड थी चैंपियन बनने के लिए, क्योंकि एवरेज सा ही गेम हमारा जा रहा था शुरू से, या फिर आप फर्स्ट देख लो, सेकंड देख लो, थर्ड देख लो, पूरी टीम मतलब बूस्टअप हो जाए और चैंपियन की तरफ आगे बढ़े।
गुजरात, कैन यू फील द फायर?
मैच 5 ने टीम हिंद के चैंपियनशिप ड्रीम को दोबारा जिंदा कर दिया, लेकिन अगले 2 गेम्स उस ड्रीम को फिर से तोड़ने पर आ गए। मैच 6 8th प्लेस फिनिश।
बट वो 16 वाला मैच में हमने थोड़ी सी गलती की, कोऑर्डिनेशन में इशू आया, वो फाइट अपन हार गए।
हाँ, एक चीज जरूर हुई, टीम हिंद ने चैंपियन रश एक्टिवेट कर लिया।
तो चैंपियन रश ऑन होने के बाद हमारी स्ट्रेटजी में हमने चेंज लाया था, क्योंकि उससे पहले हमने बहुत सारे टूर्नामेंट्स में प्रैक्टिस की थी जब चैंपियन रश ऑन होने के बाद बूया करने की, तो फिर हम उसी स्ट्रेटजी के साथ आगे गए थे।
चैंपियन रश सिर्फ आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव चेंज नहीं करता, पूरी लॉबी का गेम प्लान बदल देता है। अब हर टीम को पता था टीम हिंद को बस एक और बूया चाहिए, सिर्फ एक, और चैंपियनशिप खत्म। प्रेशर सिर्फ टीम हिंद पर नहीं था, प्रेशर उन हर टीम पर था जो उन्हें उस एक बूया से रोकना चाहती थी।
फिर अपने को नेक्स्ट गेम में चांस मिला एंड हम सेम स्ट्रेटजी के साथ गए।
मैच 7 में गॉड लाइक के अगेंस्ट एक रिस्की पुश, और इस बार सब कुछ उल्टा पड़ गया।
हिंद वो होल्ड बैक नहीं करना चाह रहे, स्क्वाड को स्पॉट आउट करा, स्पॉट करते ही अंदर घुसे टीम गॉड लाइक, दे आर इन ट्रबल। यहाँ पर से मार्को को भी गिरा दिया जाएगा, केडी गॉड एंड बुलविन वो भी नॉकआउट होते हुए नजर आने वाले। साहिल जाट एक लौटे खिलाड़ी, उनको भी करा बाहर।
टीम हिंद लॉबी की पहली एलिमिनेटेड स्क्वाड बन गई। जो मोमेंटम मैच 5 में बना था वो एक ही गेम में रुक सा गया।
तो मतलब हम 7th मैच में जब एलिमिनेट हुए तो मतलब सब वैसे ही साइड हो गए, फिर डिमोटिवेट टाइप के होने लगे। फिर जैसे ही हमने देखा कि 7th मैच में आरएनटी ने बूया करा, तो फिर मतलब सब एकदम ऐसे खुश हो गए और फिर एक दूसरे में मतलब वो चेयर अप करने लगे कि मतलब अब तो करना ही है, अब तो चैंपियन बनना ही है।
अब हर मिस हुई बूया सिर्फ पॉइंट्स का नुकसान नहीं थी, वो बाकी टीम्स को एक और चीज दे रही थी, होप। मैच 7 के बाद इक्वेशन बिल्कुल बदल चुकी थी। चैंपियन रश एक्टिवेट करने वाली 7 टीम्स में वो सबसे पीछे थे, लीडर बोर्ड के लीडर से 24 पॉइंट्स पीछे। पहली बार चैंपियनशिप इतनी दूर लग रही थी। फाइनल गेम शुरू हुई।
उस मैच में हमारे साथ अनएक्सपेक्टेड चीजें भी हुई थी कि हमने एक स्प्लिट लिया था कमांड और स्टोन रिच पर, और हमारे पे पूरी टीम आ गई थी एक स्प्लिट पर। तो साहिल उधर स्टोन रिच पे मर गया और हमारा छोटो और मैं कमांड पे थे। तो वो फाइट इतनी जरूरी थी निकालनी, क्योंकि अगर वो फाइट हार जाते तो हमारी पूरी टीम एलिमिनेट हो जाती।
पड़ेगा डिलीट एंड चेक की नॉक हो चुके हैं। इस दौरान 2 खिलाड़ी सर्वाइव करेंगे और माफिया से लॉन्च पैड से निकल जाएंगे। कैश चेक में सफलता मिलेगी, माफिया पे शॉट लिए गए और काफी जगह चोट लेकर रखा है।
अब सिर्फ एक ऑब्जेक्टिव था, फाइनल सर्कल तक पहुंचना। 4 टीम्स, चारों चैंपियन रश पर, एक ट्रॉफी, एक फाइनल सर्कल। जो ये गेम जीतेगा वही चैंपियन बनेगा। जोन और कोलैप्स हुई, अब कवर खत्म हो रहा था और इसी मोमेंट पर टीम हिंद ने सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट डिसीजन लिया। बाकी टीम्स हेजिटेट कर रही थी, टीम हिंद पहले मूव कर गई। रिस्क था, लेकिन उस रिस्क में उन्हें सबसे वैल्यूएबल चीज थी, पोजीशन। अब बाकी टीम्स स्पेस के लिए लड़ रही थी और टीम हिंद के पास ऑलरेडी वो स्पेस थी। जोन के दूसरे साइड फायरेज गेमिंग और iQOO टोटल गेमिंग एक डेस्परेट फाइट में उलझ चुके थे। दोनों जानती थी ये फाइट हारते ही टूर्नामेंट खत्म। दूसरी तरफ RNX ने टीम हिंद पर प्रेशर बनाने की कोशिश की, लेकिन बेटर पोजीशनिंग का एडवांटेज टीम हिंद के पास था। पुश डाउन किया और RNX एलिमिनेट, और अब सिर्फ 2 टीम्स बच गई थी, फायरेज गेमिंग और टीम हिंद।
थोड़ा सा डैमेज होते हुए नजर आएंगे, बढ़ेंगे आगे की और स्काइलर का प्रयोग। ट्रोल को यहाँ पर से डैमेज अकेला गिरा, शॉटो करेंगे ट्रोल के ऊपर अटैक है, ट्रोल को करा जाएगा नॉकआउट। प्रिंस एक लौटे खिलाड़ी, उनको भी करा बाहर। प्लेस फ्री फायर मैक्स इंडिया कप 2026 स्प्रिंग के विनर्स हमारे सामने, दे आर नन अदर देन टीम हिंद।
चैंपियनशिप्स सिर्फ फाइनल बूया से याद नहीं रखी जाती, ना सिर्फ ट्रॉफी लिफ्ट से, ना सेलिब्रेशन से और ना ही कॉन्फेटी से। उनकी फाउंडेशन उससे बहुत पहले पड़ती है। मेटा को समझने में, स्क्रिम्स के एंडलेस आवर्स में, हर हार के बाद हुई अनकंफर्टेबल डिस्कशंस में और उस बिलीफ में जो कभी टूटने नहीं दिया गया। टीम हिंद ने TEZ FFMIC 2026 स्प्रिंग इसीलिए नहीं जीता क्योंकि वो परफेक्ट थी, उन्होंने इसलिए जीता क्योंकि जब जब टूर्नामेंट ने उन्हें टेस्ट किया, हर बार उनके पास एक जवाब था। और अब एक नया चैप्टर शुरू हो रहा है, इस बार टीम हिंद के नाम से नहीं, टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग के नाम से। अब बाकी टीम्स ट्रॉफी के पीछे नहीं भागेंगे, वो भागेंगे डिफेंडिंग चैंपियंस के पीछे, क्योंकि फॉल सीजन में हर टीम का टारगेट एक होगा, टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग।
इस टाइटल को हमारे को डिफेंड करना एक बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है, क्योंकि हमारी अब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी और ज़्यादा बढ़ गई है। जैसे कि हम और भी ज्वाइन करी और फैंस भी हमारे बहुत सारे नए जुड़े हैं हमारे साथ, तो हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि उनको निराश ना करना। एंड इस बार कंपटीशन भी बहुत ज़्यादा रहने वाला है, क्योंकि जो लास्ट टाइम टीम्स थी वो भी हैं और काफ़ी सारी नई टीम्स भी आई हैं, तो डेफिनेटली कंपटीशन बढ़ा है एंड उसलिए हमको भी उसके लिए और ज़्यादा मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी।
हमको इंटरनेशनल एक्सपोजर चाहिए था, तो हमने वो अचीव करा है। AWC 2026 के स्लॉट को अर्न करा है और मतलब अपने आप को मतलब प्रूव करेंगे AWC में, ताकि अपने फैंस को निराश ना करें।
हर चैंपियनशिप में एक ऐसा प्लेयर होता है जो सिर्फ स्कोर बोर्ड पर नहीं, पूरे टूर्नामेंट की कहानी पर अपना नाम लिख देता है। TEZ FFMIC 2026 स्प्रिंग के लिए वो प्लेयर था हिंद वुलविन। 22 एलिमिनेशन, 8300 प्लस डैमेज और ग्रैंड फाइनल्स का मोस्ट वैल्यूएबल प्लेयर।
जब मुझे MVP का टाइटल मिला तो मैं बहुत खुश था, क्योंकि मैंने इसी के लिए बहुत प्रैक्टिस करी थी। मेरे घर वाले भी बहुत खुश थे, क्योंकि वो देख रहे थे और उन्होंने देखा कि मुझे MVP मिला और चैंपियन हम बने। आपकी नज़रों में मैं MVP हूँ, बट मेरी नज़रों में मेरी पूरी टीम है, मतलब टीम वर्क ही मेरे लिए सबसे ज़्यादा है।
एक सफर यही खत्म होता है और एक नया सफर शुरू। अब बारी है टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग के बैनर के नीचे अपने टाइटल को डिफेंड करने की। TEZ FFMIC 2026 फॉल के दौरान हम लेकर आएंगे और भी बिहाइंड द सीन्स स्टोरीज, एक्सक्लूसिव प्लेयर इंटरव्यूज और टूर्नामेंट की हर बड़ी कहानी सबसे करीब से।
एंड होप सो इस बार भी हम वो टाइटल को जीतें।
खुद को हील अप करना उनके लिए भी बेहद जरूरी है।
तू है कौन तू?
अरे देवा, पीछे से खिलाड़ी चेस करता हुआ नजर आएगा। खिलाड़ी बेहद करीब, प्रेडेटर अपना प्रे बिल्कुल नहीं छोड़ना चाहेंगे। रेनॉक सामने बट रेनॉक
बाप को भेज, तेरे बस की बात नहीं।
वो इलाका R2 के प्लेयर्स उस इलाके में बेहद करीब। जैक,
ऐसा मत करो मेरी जान, लाइफ में कुछ अच्छा करो यार।
चलो को चेस करना पड़ेगा।
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
अरे हेलो, अरे कोई मेरी आवाज सुन रहा है? हेलो,
टूटा हुआ साज हूँ मैं। हाँ ये कर लो पहले।
दूरी है, सामने की ओर से रश किया गया है। के प्लेयर्स आगे बढ़ते हैं। फायर ने वीनस को गिराया, आस्ट्रीट को भी गिरा दिया। दो प्लेयर टिप्स के
जलवा है हमारा।
मौत को छू के टक से
जाने का ट्राई भी किया है। मेरे की ये लीजिए।
मेरे को तो ऐसा धक धक हो रहा है।
मुझे लगता है कुछ नहीं किया जा सकता यहाँ पर, लेकिन एक नॉकआउट।
रोज आते हैं इस उम्मीद पे, आज जीतेंगे, कल जीतेंगे, परसों जीतेंगे, रोज हारते हैं।
आई एम सॉरी बाबू।
अरे टेंशन नहीं लेने का, अपन है ना।
जब भी गॉड हाथों में मैं
का बदला लेकर
QX का हो चुका है elimination।
क्या था?
Esports उनको मार करा जाएगा। बंद करो हाथ जो हेडशॉट थे। फिलहाल यहाँ पर से एक एलिमिनेशन अपने नाम करते हुए नजर आएगा ये खिलाड़ी। 2 एलिमिनेशन ओवर।
बाय, हैव अ ग्रेट टाइम।
अब देखिए असेंडेंट्स के जस्ट ऊपर एंड रॉजर ने ग्रेनेड थ्रो किया है।
अभी बता नहीं भाई।
पढ़ाई लिखाई में ध्यान लगाओ, IAS बनो और देश को संभालो।
बाकी एलिमिनेशन निकाला है। M1040 सिंगल चिप है अभी, बट क्या दूसरे प्लेयर को भी यहाँ पे हमें वो यहाँ पे खेलना पड़ेगा सामने।
अब तू गया बेटा, अब तू गया, देख तेरी औकात मैं दिखाता हूँ।
तेरा तो गेम बजाना पड़ेगा।
दिया जाएगा यहाँ पे व्हीकल का
बस हवा निकल गई।
इस्तेमाल किया गया, बट राजू वो भी इस वक्त
सारी कैलकुलेशन वो भी ट्राई कर रहे हैं। 5 एलिमिनेशन के बाद अच्छे से टॉस किया। तो सही समय पे वो लगा, बट ये क्या चढ़ गए और देखिए कप्तान का स्ट्रगल है, बट मुझे लग रहा है अब सलमान भाई आई यू रनिंग।
Why are you running?
One eternity later.
मुझे अपने घर जाना है। मुझे घर जाना है।
ये समझ नहीं आ रहा मुझे। एक तो पैटर्न प्लेस की तो चल ही रही थी MX।
तुम लोगों ने ये सोच लिया था कि ये तो कोई नल्ला बेरोजगार, इसको तो जैसे घुमाएंगे वैसे घूमता चला जाएगा। आजा आजा आजा।
क्या हो गया तुम्हें?
जल्दी वहाँ से हटो।
अपना निशान पर चल चुका है आयुष।
I'm a bird.
सांप को देखा और तेरे को देखा तो पहला सांप को छोड़ के तेरे को मारना।
हर टीम ग्रैंड फाइनल्स में ये बिलीव करके आती है कि वो चैंपियन बन सकती है, लेकिन टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग जो उस वक्त अपने ओरिजिनल बैनर टीम हिंद के नाम से खेल रही थी, उनकी कहानी थोड़ी अलग थी। तेज FFMIC 2026 स्प्रिंग के ग्रैंड फाइनल्स के स्टेज पर कदम रखने से काफी पहले, पहला मैच शुरू होने से पहले, पहला पॉइंट मिलने से पहले उन्होंने अपना एंडिंग इमेजिन कर लिया था। उनके लिए ट्रॉफी पहले ही उनकी थी। ये ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं था, ये बिलीव था। सालों तक साथ खेलने का बिलीव, हर सेटबैक से वापस उठने का बिलीव और नॉकआउट स्टेज क्रॉस करके इंडिया की बेस्ट टीम के सामने खड़े होने का बिलीव। अब सिर्फ एक सवाल बाकी था, क्या वो बिलीव रियलिटी बन सकता था?
जब अपना FFMIC 2026 था अपना स्प्रिंग, उसमें हमने मेनली फोकस किया था अपनी 4v4 फाइट्स में। हमने जितना ज्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग कर सकते थे हमने उसको स्ट्रॉन्ग किया, अपने कोऑर्डिनेशन पे काम किया। तो फिर ऐसा हो गया था कि फिर एक टाइम पे हम कोई भी टीम को 4v4 इजिली मार दे रहे थे। उसी से फिर हमको कॉन्फिडेंस आ गया था कि 4v4 फाइट अपनी बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग है, बस जोन्स और बाकी सब चीज पे अपने को ध्यान देना है, बाकी फाइट्स तो हम निकाल ही लेंगे।
लेकिन चैंपियनशिप डिसाइड होने से पहले एक और हर्डल बाकी था, पॉइंट रश। 6 मैचेस, एक दिन, और वही डिसाइड करता था कि चैंपियनशिप डे पर हर टीम कितने हेड स्टार्ट पॉइंट्स के साथ शुरुआत करेगी। यहाँ ट्रॉफी नहीं मिलनी थी, सिर्फ मोमेंटम, और टीम हिंद ने इसी चीज को टारगेट बनाया। उन्होंने लॉबी डोमिनेट करने की कोशिश नहीं की, हर गेम में अननेसेसरी फाइट्स नहीं ली, जहां अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली वहां कैपिटलाइज किया। और जब मैच 5 आया, टीम हिंद ने पूरे पॉइंट रश का अपना बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस दिया।
एक और ग्रेनेड यहाँ पर से को घेरा जाएगा, बिल्कुल अकेले, नीचे 3 खिलाड़ी अकेले डैश करेंगे एंड देयर कम्स द टीम हिंद विद द बूया।
19 एलिमिनेशन के साथ बूया, एक स्टेटमेंट गेम। दिन के एंड तक टीम हिंद ओवरऑल 3rd प्लेस पर फिनिश हुई। रिवॉर्ड मिला 5 हेड स्टार्ट पॉइंट्स।
ग्रैंड फाइनल्स में तो हमारा स्टार्टिंग में टारगेट यही था कि हमको 3 से 4 गेम में चैंपियन रश ऑन करना है, बट ऐसा हुआ कि हमारे गेम्स बहुत ज्यादा एवरेज चले गए कुछ रीजंस की वजह से।
चैंपियन रश डे की शुरुआत हुई और शुरुआती 4 मैचेस में एक बात क्लियर हो गई, ये टूर्नामेंट किसी एक टीम का नहीं होने वाला था। हर गेम का हीरो अलग था। मैच 1 में फायरईज गेमिंग ने पेस सेट किया। मैच 2 में गॉडलाइक ईस्पोर्ट्स ने लॉबी कंट्रोल कर ली। उसके बाद आरएनएक्स ईस्पोर्ट्स ने बैक टू बैक बूयाज लेकर पूरा लीडर बोर्ड हिला दिया। हर मैच के बाद स्टैंडिंग्स बदल रही थी, हर फाइट टाइटल रेस को एक नई डायरेक्शन दे रही थी, और टीम हिंद वो क्वाइटली रेस के अंदर बनी रही। चैंपियन रश फॉर्मेट में कभी कभी सरवाइव करते रहना लीड करने से भी ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होता है, क्योंकि जब बाकी टीम्स एक गेम में टॉप करती और अगले गेम में क्रैश हो जाती, वहीं टीम हिंद कभी पिक्चर से बाहर नहीं हुई, वो बस अपने मोमेंट का वेट कर रही थी।
फिर उसके बाद हमको अपना गेम प्लान चेंज करना पड़ा।
फिर हमारा बरमुदा मैप आया जिसमें हमको ज्यादा एलिमिनेशंस की नीड थी, तो हमने उसी के हिसाब से उस गेम को खेला और
5th और 6th गेम में बहुत ज्यादा एग्रेसिव गए, तो उससे अपने को बहुत ज्यादा फायदा हुआ।
4 मैचेस बीत चुके थे। टीम हिंद अब भी अपने ब्रेक थ्रू का इंतजार कर रही थी, और दूसरी तरफ गॉडलाइक ईस्पोर्ट्स धीरे धीरे चैंपियनशिप के सबसे बड़े कंटेंडर्स बन के उभर चुकी थी। हर पासिंग गेम के साथ प्रेशर बढ़ता जा रहा था। अब एक और एवरेज मैच का ऑप्शन ही नहीं था। इसी बीच आई एक रोटेशन केप टाउन से कोटाटुआ की तरफ, और वही हुआ जिसने टीम हिंद के टूर्नामेंट की डायरेक्शन ही बदल दी। सीधा सामने थे डिफेंडिंग चैंपियंस iQOO टोटल गेमिंग। ये सिर्फ एक और स्क्वाड फाइट नहीं थी, iQOO टोटल गेमिंग के लिए ये चैंपियनशिप रेस में बने रहने का मौका था, और टीम हिंद के लिए ये वो फाइट थी जो उनके पूरे टूर्नामेंट को या तो जिंदा रख सकती थी या वहीं खत्म कर सकती थी।
सामने की तरफ से टीम हिंद इनके ऊपर अटैक करती हुई इस समय पर लीड आगे बढ़ते हुए बुलविन पे डाउन करने की कोशिश है। He is the last man standing because iQOO total gaming is yet to touch the 80 points mark। क्या माफिया अपने खिलाड़ियों को गेम के अंदर इस मुकाबले में वापस ला पाएंगे? जी नहीं। स्वेप मैदान पे iQOO टोटल गेमिंग का खात्मा होता हुआ।
और उस मोमेंट के बाद पूरा मैप टीम हिंद के लिए खुल गया और धीरे धीरे लॉबी सिर्फ 3 स्क्वाड्स तक सीमित हो गई। अब टीम हिंद सिर्फ रेस में नहीं थी, अब पूरी लॉबी को पता चल चुका था ये टीम चैंपियनशिप जीत भी सकती है।
हमको तो शुरू से ऐसे गेम की नीड थी चैंपियन बनने के लिए, क्योंकि एवरेज सा ही गेम हमारा जा रहा था शुरू से, या फिर आप फर्स्ट देख लो, सेकंड देख लो, थर्ड देख लो, पूरी टीम मतलब बूस्टअप हो जाए और चैंपियन की तरफ आगे बढ़े।
गुजरात, कैन यू फील द फायर?
मैच 5 ने टीम हिंद के चैंपियनशिप ड्रीम को दोबारा जिंदा कर दिया, लेकिन अगले 2 गेम्स उस ड्रीम को फिर से तोड़ने पर आ गए। मैच 6 8th प्लेस फिनिश।
बट वो 16 वाला मैच में हमने थोड़ी सी गलती की, कोऑर्डिनेशन में इशू आया, वो फाइट अपन हार गए।
हाँ, एक चीज जरूर हुई, टीम हिंद ने चैंपियन रश एक्टिवेट कर लिया।
तो चैंपियन रश ऑन होने के बाद हमारी स्ट्रेटजी में हमने चेंज लाया था, क्योंकि उससे पहले हमने बहुत सारे टूर्नामेंट्स में भी प्रैक्टिस की थी जब चैंपियन रश ऑन होने के बाद बूया करने की, तो फिर हम उसी स्ट्रेटजी के साथ आगे गए थे।
चैंपियन रश सिर्फ आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव चेंज नहीं करता, पूरी लॉबी का गेम प्लान बदल देता है। अब हर टीम को पता था टीम हिंद को बस एक और बूया चाहिए, सिर्फ एक, और चैंपियनशिप खत्म। प्रेशर सिर्फ टीम हिंद पर नहीं था, प्रेशर उन हर टीम पर था जो उन्हें उस एक बूया से रोकना चाहती थी।
फिर अपने को नेक्स्ट गेम में चांस मिला एंड हम सेम स्ट्रेटजी के साथ गए।
मैच 7 में गॉड लाइक के अगेंस्ट एक रिस्की पुश, और इस बार सब कुछ उल्टा पड़ गया।
हिंद को होल्ड बैक नहीं करना चाह रहे, स्क्वाड को स्पॉट आउट करा, स्पॉट करते ही अंदर घुसे टीम गॉड लाइक, दे आर इन ट्रबल। यहाँ पर से मार्को को भी गिरा दिया जाएगा, केडी गॉड एंड बुलविन वो भी नॉकआउट होते हुए नजर आने वाले। साहिल जाट एक लौते खिलाड़ी, उनको भी करा बाहर।
टीम हिंद लॉबी की पहली एलिमिनेटेड स्क्वाड बन गई। जो मोमेंटम मैच 5 में बना था वो एक ही गेम में रुक सा गया।
तो मतलब हम 7th मैच में जब एलिमिनेट हुए तो मतलब सब वैसे ही सैड हो गए, फिर डिमोटिवेट टाइप के होने लगे। फिर जैसे ही हमने देखा कि 7th मैच में आरएनटी ने बूया करा, तो फिर मतलब सब एकदम ऐसे खुश हो गए और फिर एक दूसरे में मतलब चेयर अप करने लगे कि मतलब अब तो करना ही है, अब तो चैंपियन बनना ही है।
अब हर मिस हुई बूया सिर्फ पॉइंट्स का नुकसान नहीं थी, वो बाकी टीम्स को एक और चीज दे रही थी, होप। मैच 7 के बाद इक्वेशन बिल्कुल बदल चुकी थी। चैंपियन रश एक्टिवेट करने वाली 7 टीम्स में वो सबसे पीछे थे, लीडर बोर्ड के लीडर से 24 पॉइंट्स पीछे। पहली बार चैंपियनशिप इतनी दूर लग रही थी। फाइनल गेम शुरू हुई।
उस मैच में हमारे साथ अनएक्सपेक्टेड चीजें भी हुई थी कि हमने एक स्प्लिट लिया था कमांड और स्टोन रिच पर, और हमारे पे पूरी टीम आ गई थी एक स्प्लिट पर। तो साहिल उधर स्टोन रिच पे मर गया और हमारा शोटो और मैं कमांड पे थे। तो वो फाइट इतनी जरूरी थी निकालनी, क्योंकि अगर वो फाइट हार जाते तो हमारी पूरी टीम एलिमिनेट हो जाती।
पड़ेगा डिलीट एंड चेक की नॉक हो चुके हैं। इस दौरान 2 खिलाड़ी सर्वाइव करेंगे और माफिया यहाँ से लॉन्च पैड से निकल जाएंगे। कैश टेक में सफलता मिलेगी, माफिया पे शॉट्स लिए गए और काफी जगह चोट लेकर रखा है।
अब सिर्फ एक ऑब्जेक्टिव था, फाइनल सर्कल तक पहुंचना। 4 टीम्स, चारों चैंपियन रश पर, एक ट्रॉफी, एक फाइनल सर्कल। जो ये गेम जीतेगा वही चैंपियन बनेगा। जोन और कोलैप्स हुई, अब कवर खत्म हो रहा था और इसी मोमेंट पर टीम हिंद ने सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट डिसीजन लिया। बाकी टीम्स हेजिटेट कर रही थी, टीम हिंद पहले मूव कर गई। रिस्क था, लेकिन उस रिस्क ने उन्हें सबसे वैल्यूएबल चीज दी, पोजीशन। अब बाकी टीम्स स्पेस के लिए लड़ रही थी और टीम हिंद के पास ऑलरेडी वो स्पेस थी। जोन के दूसरे साइड फायरेज गेमिंग और iQOO टोटल गेमिंग एक डेस्परेट फाइट में उलझ चुके थे। दोनों जानती थी ये फाइट हारते ही टूर्नामेंट खत्म। दूसरी तरफ RNX ने टीम हिंद पर प्रेशर बनाने की कोशिश की, लेकिन बेटर पोजीशनिंग का एडवांटेज टीम हिंद के पास था। पुश डाउन किया और RNX एलिमिनेट, और अब सिर्फ 2 टीम्स बच गई थी, फायरेज गेमिंग और टीम हिंद।
थोड़ा सा डैमेज होते हुए नजर आएंगे, बढ़ेंगे आगे की और स्काइलर का प्रयोग, ट्रोल को यहाँ पर से डैमेज अकेला गिरा, शॉटो करेंगे ट्रोल के ऊपर अटैक है, ट्रोल को करा जाएगा नॉकआउट। प्रिंस एक लौते खिलाड़ी, उनको भी करा बाहर। प्रिंस फ्री फायर मैक्स इंडिया कप 2026 स्प्रिंग गेम विनर्स हमारे सामने, दे आर नन अदर देन टीम हिंद।
चैंपियनशिप्स सिर्फ फाइनल बूया से याद नहीं रखी जाती, ना सिर्फ ट्रॉफी लिफ्ट से, ना सेलिब्रेशन से और ना ही कॉन्फेटी से। उनकी फाउंडेशन उससे बहुत पहले पड़ती है। मेटा को समझने में, स्क्रिम्स के एंडलेस आवर्स में, हर हार के बाद हुई अनकंफर्टेबल डिस्कशंस में और उस बिलीफ में जो कभी टूटने नहीं दिया गया। टीम हिंद ने तेज FFMIC 2026 स्प्रिंग इसीलिए नहीं जीता क्योंकि वो परफेक्ट थी। उन्होंने इसलिए जीता क्योंकि जब जब टूर्नामेंट ने उन्हें टेस्ट किया, हर बार उनके पास एक जवाब था। और अब एक नया चैप्टर शुरू हो रहा है। इस बार टीम हिंद के नाम से नहीं, टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग के नाम से। अब बाकी टीम्स ट्रॉफी के पीछे नहीं भागेंगे, वो भागेंगे डिफेंडिंग चैंपियंस के पीछे, क्योंकि फॉल सीजन में हर टीम का टारगेट एक होगा, टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग।
इस टाइटल को हमारे को डिफेंड करना एक बहुत बड़ी चीज है, क्योंकि हमारी अब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी और ज्यादा बढ़ गई है। जैसे कि हम और भी जानकारी और फैंस भी हमारे बहुत सारे नए जुड़े हैं हमारे साथ, तो हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि उनको निराश ना करना। एंड इस बार कंपटीशन भी बहुत ज़्यादा रहने वाला है, क्योंकि जो लास्ट टाइम टीम्स थी वो भी हैं और काफ़ी सारी नई टीम्स भी आई हैं, तो डेफिनेटली कंपटीशन बढ़ा है एंड उसलिए हमको भी उसके लिए और ज़्यादा मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी।
हमको इंटरनेशनल एक्सपोजर चाहिए था, तो हमने वो अचीव करा है। AWC 2026 के स्लॉट को अर्न करा है और मतलब अपने आप को मतलब प्रूफ करेंगे AWC में, ताकि अपने फैंस को निराश ना करें।
हर चैंपियनशिप में एक ऐसा प्लेयर होता है जो सिर्फ स्कोर बोर्ड पर नहीं, पूरे टूर्नामेंट की कहानी पर अपना नाम लिख देता है। तेज FFMIC 2026 स्प्रिंग के लिए वो प्लेयर था हिंद वुलविन। 22 एलिमिनेशन, 8300 प्लस डैमेज और ग्रैंड फाइनल्स का मोस्ट वैल्यूएबल प्लेयर।
जब मुझे MVP का टाइटल मिला तो मैं बहुत खुश था, क्योंकि मैंने इसी के लिए बहुत प्रैक्टिस करी थी। मेरे घर वाले भी बहुत खुश थे क्योंकि वो देख रहे थे और उन्होंने देखा कि मुझे MVP मिला और चैंपियन हम बने। आपकी नज़रों में मैं MVP हूँ, बट मेरी नज़रों में मेरी पूरी टीम है, मतलब टीम वर्क ही मेरे लिए सबसे ज़्यादा है।
एक सफर यही खत्म होता है और एक नया सफर शुरू। अब बारी है टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग के बैनर के नीचे अपने टाइटल को डिफेंड करने की। तेज FFMIC 2026 फॉल के दौरान हम लेकर आएंगे और भी बिहाइंड द सीन्स स्टोरीज, एक्सक्लूसिव प्लेयर इंटरव्यूज और टूर्नामेंट की हर बड़ी कहानी सबसे करीब से।
एंड होप सो इस बार भी हम वो टाइटल को जीतें।
Some teams are playing for qualification, some are chasing redemption, and a few are about to face their past. That's exactly what makes Group B so special. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are watching TEZ Free Fire Max India Cup 2026 Fall. This is the group stages, Week 1, Day 2. And my name is Zoro. With me, I have Crips by my side. Crips, what's on your mind for today?
I think there's too many things on my mind on today, so I can't even fit them in the next 30 odd seconds. However, I will bring them up one by one because there's just way too much spice today. There's so much masala. There's so much drama that's about to happen today. It's about to unfold today that we will be entertained for the next few weeks to come. Just feast your eyes upon this lovely day, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got ex-teammates facing each other. We've got ex-organizations facing each other. We've got people who've got so many past connections with each other now going into a different team that they will be seeing the ghosts of their pasts all day long. And while all of that is happening, they also have to deal with the threat of rising underdogs in Group B. It is going to be one of the most spiciest days in this season of the FFMIC.
Yep, while all of that is happening, sounds like too much to keep a track about, but definitely that's going to be super fun and absolutely a drama-full day. Yesterday, the day end was a drama-full day because, you know, LXP and NKG, they almost, you know, got stuck in a way where we had to follow the tiebreaker rule, and I think this is the very first time in this tournament we had to follow that, and I think LXP could not qualify. It was because of the situation that they couldn't win the last situation, but we are talking about the tournament timeline as well. Right now, we are done with the plains, where 48 teams have come into this group stage. Week 1 has started with 42 teams who made it from plains and 6 invited teams from TEZ FFMIC 2026 Spring. And from here, only the top 9 teams from each group will be able to make it to week 2, which makes it to 36. So already we know for a fact that in every week and in each and every day we will have some number of elimination, Crips.
Exactly. So these teams really need to be fighting for their lives. Right now, it's not that difficult, but by the time they get to the second week of the group stage, it will be extremely difficult. And then the knockout stage will be across 3 weeks. And if you remember the format of the knockout stage last time, you know that we will be sending a few people to the grand finals as well, which will be happening on 26th and 27th September. But for those of you who are not familiar with how this format works, let me remind you once again that we are in the group stage right now. As of now, only 48 teams are surviving in the groups, and 12 of them are in each group. They've been divided into 4 groups each. Their objective for today is just going to be in the top 9 of their respective groups. That means the bottom 3 from each group will be eliminated. 12 teams in total will be eliminated by the end of this week, which means you'll be sending 36 teams into week number 2. And then in 36 will be slashed down to 18, because only half of them, only the top 6 from each group will qualify for the knockout stage. And once you do get to the knockout stage, you will get a minimum of 77,500 rupees. But that is nothing compared to the massive 35 lakhs, the lion's share of the massive 1 crore rupees prize pool.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm quite sure that everybody is going to chase that number as well as the bragging right. And with that also comes so much responsibility and so many more opportunities, right? We have seen whoever is the champion, now the doors opening for that international tournaments and whatnot, right? We have seen FFMIC coming into the picture. So that is there for up for grabs if you are at the podium finishes. But the point system, that remains the same. For each elimination, you're rewarded with 1 point. And if you get a booyah, you get 12 points. And as and when your position goes down, your number also, follows down as well. But, the tiebreaker rule, which we were talking about, because that's where the real, deal was yesterday, where NKG and LXP almost got stuck. But, if there's a situation which arises again today, the number of booyahs will be followed first. Then we will follow or check the total elimination. Whoever is the higher will obviously have that edge or that advantage to qualify. But even if that remains the same, the final ranking would be considered in the last map. So that's how things are going to turn out in favor of that team, whoever leads. But one unique active skill is something which we have seen through. Each player in a team needs to use a different active skill, and your roles are also dependent on how you are using your active skills as well.
Yeah, and all of these teams have been trying to innovate with the meta. We've seen how a lot of these teams have successfully transitioned into getting their snipers to use the Morse instead of the Skylar. Almost nobody uses the Nero anymore, even though that character was literally meta and everyone used it like a couple of months ago. And now the evolution has led us to a stage where in Group B, we have these giants competing today. We've got SHUL Esports. They already represent the country in the Esports World Cup, and they've already won all the hearts of the country. Now they are here to show that they are indeed the best. They are followed by iQOO OGxTSG with the IGL Ronit, who used to be the ex-IGL of SHUL Esports, now competing against them. You've also got Team Elite, who has Pahadi, who used to be a part of SHUL Elite, but now obviously he's no longer playing under the banner of SHUL. He's just a creator for SHUL, but he's playing as Team Elite. So he's literally competing against his current organization. It is so crazy. And alongside that, we have ZUIPTS, FIREEYES Glory, KINGZ Army, W Squad, Team Evolution, Rackers, ST United, so many cool teams coming up, even SMR from the Bangalore qualifiers. All these teams, you will see them in full action today, and we will get into the spiciest storylines because these are just scratching the surface.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely going to be crazy, Cribs. But, we have so many more teams to look at, right? And we're also having a discussion during the tech checks that, this is very interesting that there are so many big names, right? And when you are an underdog, when you are a team who we don't have any information about, it becomes so difficult to shine among these teams. And if you're able to qualify and if you're able to outperform these teams, you make your name already in the group stages, right? We have seen how FIREEYES Glory have done it already in the plains. Now, again, they have come up and they will be fighting the ex-FIREEYES roster, which, of course, is SHUL Esports, and they have dominated in the world stage already. And as you were mentioning about the link-ups with Ronit and Pahadi going back to SHUL and everything, from where it started, it's already looking so good and solid for all the rosters, even though the roster in itself looks so good, right? Even for Team Elite, they had a very good start in planes. They had 146 points. And we have to talk about this player Piccolo, right? Everybody, for a moment, I think that everybody is thinking that this is a new guy, but this is Amin, right? We have seen him on LAN where he was a part of that Nightmare roster.
Yeah, and he's not the only person who's coming in with a new team. You've also got iQOO as well as Shanku playing in Team Evolution. iQOO used to be Pahadi's long-standing teammate, and now they are going to fight each other. You guys have also seen Shanku at the LAN, so this is going to be absolutely crazy to see these two guys start from scratch with a new lineup. You've also got Rackers Esports that feature Kid. Kid used to be in iQOO OGxTSG, and he's going to be facing iQOO OGxTSG today. So all these people who used to be in different squads are now facing their old foes. These are friends who have become foes. We've already spoken about iQOO's relationship with Pahadi. He used to be in Team Elite, but now that he's playing in Team Evolution, I want to see what he accomplishes away from his old teammate Pahadi. And of course, Pahadi's not just been ex-teammates with iQOO. Of course, his relationship with iQOO was much deeper. They've been together much longer. But on paper, he was also along with Ronit while he was playing another Maran of SHUL Elite. And now that Ronit has gone over to iQOO OGxTSG, he has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders because he needs to IGL this team to victory.
Yeah, I mean, if we open the history books, so, you know, we have to find that iQOO and Pahadi and Team Elite, you know, all these three elements have won their first official trophy together. So we cannot forget that as well. So that goes really back. But, you know, we have to say that even though that has happened, these guys have to focus on the agenda. You know, they have to be very ruthless. The games will be similar. It has to be very basic. You have to follow your guts, your instincts, that how do you want to shape up? You have to get your elimination game strong, because that is where I think the key holds. If you get the confidence, how you take those fights is going to come in very handy. As such, our predictions, because I think I've gone in with SHUL, FIREEYES Glory, and so did you. I think the only difference between your prediction and mine is I have picked up Team Elite and you have gone in with iQOO OGxTSG.
I kind of feel like all the predictions today are going to be very similar across all the casters, whether you're watching the Hindi desk or the English desk. I mean, I have also picked up Team Elite, but like in a later game, not in this game. For this game, I picked up iQOO OGxTSG. But like, while you have all these big names, Team Elite, SHUL, iQOO OGxTSG, you can't forget that there are a bunch of underdogs as well. One of them is SMR from the Bangalore City qualifiers.
Correct.
They are also going to be competing over here, and these teams will have 6 games to prove that they belong in this tournament. All the underdogs will need to go up against some of the most experienced teams in the lobby, and they will be starting off in Purgatory. Then we move on to Kalahari and Nextera, and then finally we will have Bermuda and Solara along with the randomized map later on.
Oh my god. Okay. I mean, I had to literally stop or pause for a while, Chris, because this is not happening. I mean, no way. I don't trust this at all. 7 teams really at Brasilia.
Yeah, not believable. I don't believe it for a single bit. I mean, we've already discussed about the top teams going over towards their respective drop spots, because we've seen SHUL Esports, they do sometimes stick true to their split drop in Mount Villa and Golf Course. But I remember seeing Team Elite go down to Central and Fire Brigade back then. FIREEYES Glory, they were definitely not going towards Brasilia, even though they were close to it. So I don't know if all of them will be going towards Brasilia once again. But these are just the top teams, and it is kind of possible to figure out where these top teams will go, because you have seen so much of their games, you have all the data about them. But for all the underdog teams, you don't really know much. I mean, all the data you have about them is the one day that they played in the play-in stage. And that's not enough data to figure out what their playstyle is like.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, that unpredictability can give you that benefit, or probably the benefit of the doubt, to be honest. But because we have seen how at ZUIPTS or like at the W Squad, or I've heard about SGU Esports as well, there are a few players who are coming on the block. And as you spoke about the Bangalore City qualifiers, team SMR, you know, these will be the teams who have to perform well, because only 9 teams will be able to make it to the next stage. Otherwise, you get eliminated and your journey won't be able to continue in TEZ FFMIC 2026 fall. But we only have 8 more seconds. You guys can also go ahead and give your 2 cents on who do you think can be the top 3 teams on this map itself. It is Purgatory, it is a big map, and we know things are going to start getting heated up, Crips.
Yeah, things are gonna be super hot, and this temperature will climb up really fast. So let's begin the first game of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Purgatory up on your screens now. I mean, the predicted drop spot said that a lot of them will be going towards Brasilia, and given the way they're dropping right now, I definitely do not believe it even for a second. You've got ZUIPTS going towards Moathouse, Team Elite going towards Ski Lodge. I mean, we have seen them go towards the Sunil Island every now and then, but I'm believing this is not going to be that game. FIREEYES Glory going towards Brasilia. Are they going to have a drop clash against Team SMR? I think they will. Even iQOO, OGxTSG are going towards Brasilia in the northern half of Brasilia. Meanwhile, FIREEYES and SMR go towards the southern half. But the FIREEYES Glory have sent Shaurya down towards central, away from the rest of the team as an insurance policy. However, the first battle is brewing up in Fields, where you've got Cropsy from Team Elite fighting off against Evolution. But it's SG United who actually get that elimination point onto Shantanu.
Yeah, and there are more teams in Fields area. This is FTW you're looking at. And I see MT with a cord already. If you are in the open, you do not want to face him. Probably he will be the one who would create a lot of problems. But right now, FTW, they have probably understood that there are quite a few teams in and around this situation, and they have to be very watchful while they're rotating, because there are a lot of open spaces. And we come back towards Brasilia, where Scripps, you mentioned about iQOO, OGxTSG, and FIREEYES Glory. They're fighting at this very moment, and 4 elimination points already, given away. And iQOO, OGxTSG, they have started the way they wanted to. The planes were very strong for them, and they have started right up.
Yeah, iQOO, OGxTSG are on fire already. Team Elite, after losing one of their players, they seem to have recovered. But SG United, who were fighting in Fields, even though they got one of the first eliminations of the game, even though they drew first blood, they also are the first team to be eliminated from this match. That's what happens when you get too hot right at the beginning. FTW managed to somehow stabilize themselves. They've got 2 houses under their control, even a monster truck to do their bidding. So FTW should be fine for now, even though Team Evolution is right next to them. And Evolution are shooting at them already. Evolution already have 4 eliminations in their pocket, and they want 4 more by taking down FTW.
There's a possibility that Team Elite can also chip into this fight. They are in the vicinity, but not right now. We saw Cropsy in the beginning, but right now, FTW, they are stuck. Clown, I think he has a different angle, but wait, he has to fight against Shantanu, who's on the flank himself, and the rest of the team members for FTW, they have to run away. They're trying to rotate, but 1 HP KO bot, he gets spotted, and Shanku is the one who will find that elimination. But look at Clown, he had that flank angle, but his position is spotted as well. And now, he tries to, reposition using that stealth bite, but for how long, Cribs? Because they're still out in the open.
They are indeed still out in the open, and I don't think that stealth bite will really help you much when that big monster truck will literally announce your arrival to half the lobby. So they will just place their bets, and they will just drive away into the sunset. Or in this case, not into the sunset, right into the mouth of Brasilia, where there's a bunch of other teams waiting for them. However, iQOO, OGxTSG, they seem to be fighting SMR in Central, and SMR are running away. Drew are caught out in the open before he can get to that rock cover. Krish snipes him down, and it's up to Obito to somehow keep their hopes alive.
I probably have to speak about it. I was watching the roster. Legend was not a part of this roster in the plains. He's not playing again. I mean, see, I'm happy about iQOO, OGxTSG and their fans. They should be super happy because the team is doing well. And the IGL part has always been the concern. And now Ronit, since he has joined, this is looking pretty clear. Now, see, the information game is already there. They know that, a player from FIREEYES Glory is there. The rotation came in pretty quickly. Ronit has passed on the information, but will Curse be allowed? Nope is the answer. He's out in the open. Glue walls won't help him. It's Ayush who gets, I think, the pick over here. Yup, he's the one. But, yup, Legend is no more a part of this roster right now. He's subbed out. I think that's something which will be a little, how do I frame it? I don't know, but
fans, maybe?
Weird or awkward, because as long as I have seen iQOO, OGxTSG, he has always been a part of TSG, or, currently iQOO, OGxTSG.
Yeah, it is a bit weird to not see Legend in the playing 4. I'm sure he will travel to the LAN if the team makes it, but whether or not he will be in the playing 4 is something only these guys can decide. So maybe they will take a call, based on whichever map the Legend is strong on. He's probably going to play like 1 or 2 maps.
Yeah.
Or maybe he will not play at all. Maybe he will stay the 5th. It is sometimes helpful to have a very experienced name like Legend as your 5th player, or acting like a pseudo coach. It's always nice to have that kind of a perspective. But speaking of perspective, I think Rackers Esports have a massive high ground advantage onto WSquad, because even though Anshu Jr. is down there. His teammates above the hill are providing good cover fire against W Squad. Aditya's vehicle gets blown up and he is also sprayed down by Shobit's squad. W Spark and Rudra have to now disengage from this battle, but there's really nowhere left to go. The only thing that they can do is go down fighting, go down swinging. Anshu pops the stealth bites right in his face and he's breaking his ankles. W Spark, even though he popped that time turner, Anshu Jr. outmaneuvers him. Finally, it's up to Bull to take him down. But Anshu Jr., even though he's lost his life, his teammates are doing really well. Shobit is spraying everybody down. Bull sprays down Anshu Jr. Yes, that confirmation comes through, but that's really the only thing to get out of this fight. Nothing else can be salvaged.
Exactly. I mean, usually whenever we see players using a mod stealth bite, they usually run away from that situation. But he literally circled around. Yeah, exactly. Not towards the enemy. But I think that created the confusion for that player. And he literally circled around inside that chrono shield and he made sure that once he is active and he can use his weaponry, he took his weaponry out and he took that player down. Probably that was the reason he could survive for a bit before he got taken on. But his team has given him cover. So probably he would be brought back into the lobby. FTW right now, they are trying to climb up the hill, but the circle has moved in the opposite direction. So wherever they're going, they have to change the course for now.
Yep. Rackers Esports have to change their course. And right now, they are course correcting to go above. Shobit pops that time turner just in the nick of time, but his opponent also does the same thing. W Spark really well handled that situation. 1 HP KO bot right on the other side trying to provide some cover fire, but hold on, a third party has arrived. iQOO, OGxTSG, they're taking shots at Rackers Esports and Arjun just got one more elimination. Yeah, it's time for Mysterious to just get out of this area. Kid also has to find his own way back into the server somehow, but he is pinned down. He's getting shot from below. They can see your feet, buddy. Better climb up. And it is quite difficult to climb this steep mountain. So Arjun has probably the easiest shot of his life.
Yeah, very weird and awkward spot to be stuck in. But iQOO, OGxTSG, I mean, 7 minutes on the clock. We are not even close to the last circle, right? And they have 11. I mean, the way this team is playing and the way Ronit is shaping up these boys, I mean, yep, that's a good problem to have, that if Legend has not made it to the roster, it's okay, but his team is doing good. Probably that should be the, the way ahead for iQOO, OGxTSG, but KINGZ Army, they're rotating. Probably they're being shot at right now. I think Django is the one from KINGZ Army who's fighting against Team Evolution, who are right below them, and the position are compromised. Higher ground advantage is there for KINGZ Army, but what will Team Evolution do? They are running away.
Yeah, Evolution repositioning for now. KINGZ Army can enjoy this high ground advantage for the time being. They will have to get out of this area anyway later on. And I want to see what they can accomplish because they had decent firepower in the play-ins, but it's not like they impressed everybody. So I'm hoping that by facing a higher caliber of opponents, they should be able to do better. Meanwhile, ZUIPTS versus Team Elite have started fighting each other. I believe this is just outside this zone near Crossroads. So it is quite possible for KINGZ Army to also come in and third party. That's exactly why Party and Piccolo are moving away. ZUIPTS, they take down Cropsy, but there's still plenty of opportunities to revive him. So it's not the end of the road for Team Elite.
Yeah, it was a bit of a pickle for Team Elite and they did the right thing. Probably those players are mature enough to understand that what's a good fight for them, and at this moment it looked like a bad fight for them and was in favor of ZUIPTS, and they did manage to pick out a player and get those elimination. And of course we see that Piccolo has managed to bring back those two members. Team Evolution on the other end, they have a good portion of this circle, we have to say that. And this is not a usual Purgatory circle we are looking at, Crips, right? Because whenever we see Purgatory, it's usually in and around Brasilia, or probably there's a hard shift towards the southern island, but this time it's a northern shift, and this is creating problem because there's a confusion that teams are there towards the Marblework Island and also trying to be there towards the main island and trying to capture the northern area, but few teams are opting for the center. But right now this is SMR, they're fighting against Team Elite.
Oh my god, Team Elite were running away from ZUIPTS, and instead of going towards their usual spot, they go towards Moat House to get the res, but they end up fighting SMR over here. So Team Elite really just cannot catch a break. They wanted to get away from the spot, but they can't avoid the fight. Piccolo gets the first shot onto DVG, that's great. It's Obito versus Pahari. He rushes him down, that spray not connecting. Pahari gets that shot with the AWM at close range. DVG also mostly confirmed now. So Team SMR, I think they're starting to realize that they made a mistake by picking up this fight against Team Elite. They thought that Team Elite were weak. They thought that they were lacking members. So by stopping them from going to the vending machine, they thought that Team SMR might just be able to do something great. But now they're just fighting for their lives. Team Elite all back at full strength. Demo goes down and ZUIPTS about to be cornered. They find the angle, and that's going to be the end of Team SMR. They are the third team to get eliminated.
Yeah, I mean, look at the teams who got eliminated already. SHUL, a big name. SMR, the team who have qualified from Bangalore City qualifiers. SG United is the only team who qualified from the FFC mode have got eliminated. And we were talking about these bigger names performing well. Yeah, iQOO, OGxTSG, they are the elephant in the room, and definitely they are, going crazy with the elimination number. They have 11 already. But the rest of the lobby, FTW, FGL, the W squad, these teams are doing so well, and they should be proud of themselves. And this would be needed. And the consistency should continue, because they have to do it until the 6th map ends, and they have to end up in the top 9 spot, because that's where the money is. That's where you end up in week 2.
Yeah, but bro, forget about getting into the top 9. I don't even think they can get into the circle. Look at that cruel northern shift. You got FIREEYES Glory who need to make their way to the main island, and there's only one bridge to cover their escape. However, that bridge is being contested by FTW already, and they are gatekeeping FIREEYES Glory. And they're not the only ones over here. Even iQOO OGxTSG is stuck in marble work. So both these big teams need to cross the river and get to the circle, and that's going to be extremely difficult for both of them. I don't know if FTW can successfully gatekeep FIREEYES Glory, but they will definitely try doing that.
Yeah, they are already being shot at. I mean, FIREEYES Glory are being shot from behind. It's iQOO OGxTSG, it's Krish. I mean, he has the cord and he is punishing them. So that's going to be a hell of a rotation for FIREEYES Glory, because Team Evolution are also sitting on the railway bridge or the railway station, and they have eyes on FTW as well. FTW, they themselves have to, rotate inside the circle, and the circle is constantly pushing away from them, constantly pushing away. So this is already a problematic situation for a lot of teams who are outside the circle, because the circle is constantly damaging them, and there are teams who are gatekeeping them as well.
Exactly, and this is a 4th circle, so this one actually hurts quite a lot. iQOO OGxTSG taking to the skies, using the launch pad to get across. They barely make it alive. But can anybody follow them from behind? Because as soon as iQOO OGxTSG make landfall, FIREEYES Glory will start shooting at them. However, even though FIREEYES Glory got here first, does not mean that they are safe, because Team Evolution is shooting at FIREEYES Glory from above. So it's a sandwich right now. FIREEYES Glory gatekeeping iQOO OGxTSG. Meanwhile, they are about to get all their eliminations stolen by not only Team Evolution, but also Team Elite. Oh my god, both these teams working in tandem to destroy iQOO OGxTSG. Ayush is the last one standing. 1 glue wall to his name and 3 meds. There's really not much that he can do in this situation.
He's just popping them and trying to buy time. I mean, if you get eliminated here, you don't get any survival points yet. You have to climb a little. There are 2 more first aids left out. They're just waiting for the other teams to rotate or sway away, but FIREEYES Glory is still sitting towards that sniper tower. FTW on the other end, they have shifted towards Team Evolution from FIREEYES Glory. 1 HP KO bot, he has that cord in his hand and he's trying to fire, but they are using the launch pad to reposition. But the position is also known to 1 HP KO bot.
Yeah,
right
so
now,
so while 1 HP KO bot is spraying them down, you got Team Elite on the high ground who can also sandwich Team Evolution.
Exactly.
And do not forget the fact that FIREEYES Glory are still alive and kicking, so they can always follow them from behind.
iQOO OGxTSG, the player still surviving, and Ayush has somehow managed to sneak in, right? Crips, you look at him, he's, there towards the southern end, and they're trying to follow the tail from where FTW are moving in. So is FIREEYES Glory, it's Wixto, it's a solo survivor. What has happened to this lobby? And I think the MVP here is going to be the circle.
Oh, 100%, bro, 100%. Circle responsible for most of these eliminations. And that's exactly why you get such an evenly distributed circle, right? You got TSG at 13, Team Elite at 10 eliminations, FIREEYES Glory at 9, and the circle claims yet another victim. It's W squad. I mean, even Team Elite had something to do with it, but right now Team Elite have a new victim to claim, and that's gonna be Rackers Esports. They try to come in with another rotation, but Team Elite is like, yep, we already know your tricks. You can't fool us. But while Team Elite were busy dealing with Rackers Esports, Team Evolution find that opening. They get the knock onto Pahadi, but he gets rezzed instantly. Now Team Elite back at full strength. Have Cropsy jumping in behind Maxi God. He tries to land the M590 shot, connects one, but he will be taken down by Sahil's close range M82B headshot. Or even Kohli goes down. Shanku gets the better of him. Sahil gets the confirmation. Kohli also probably not going to be rest. It's up to Pahari and Piccolo to go through. Sahil comes back somehow, so that's great. That's an amazing revive from Team Evolution. It's still a 2v3 though. Hold up! Ayush wants to fight against FIREEYES Glory. It's a 1v1 between Ayush versus Vixto, and he will get the better of FIREEYES Glory. So that is yet another team falling down. But Evolution, they find a little bit of breathing room against Team Elite, while Team Elite is busy fighting King's Army right now. This has turned from a 4th to a 5th party situation, Oro.
Yeah, exactly. In the meanwhile, Team iQOO, OGxTSG, they get eliminated. And look at Maxigod. He's finding sliver of HPs and sliver of, a window to take down Team Elite. Team Elite, it's Cropsy alone. He's trying to fight out against Light. Light goes down. It's Kohli who got that better of that player. King's Army, they probably was trying to survive, but not able to. Now Cropsy's focus shifts on to FTW, and we are ending towards the top 4 teams, and Team Elite left out with only Cropsy with that Mac-10 in his hand.
Yeah, Cropsy has to fight against the world. Practically a 1 versus the world situation for him, because all the other teams have all their players alive. And as soon as I say that, Sahil goes down against FTW. Empty. He is running on empty, but 1 HP KO bot also gets the knock onto Shantu. That's a confirmation secured as well. At ZUIPTS, find Cropsy. That's going to be the end of Team Elite, and now we are at our top 3 teams. Team Evolution, the only team lacking a member. Every other team with all 4 players alive, still ready to fight for the crown, ready to fight for the BOOYAH.
But the circle is going to move again in an opposite direction, and this feels like FTW has a better advantage, but Team Evolution, they are trying to play it safe. They do not want to engage into the situation. They want the third party situation to come into action for them. But FTW, they're also being smart. They know that the circle has favored them. They're putting in the glue walls and trying to buy time. But Team Evolution, their crunch spot phase, I think they have to push on to FTW. There's no other option. And at ZUIPTS, this is the best opportunity for them. And in the meanwhile, Shanku with that woodpecker puts on full stop to that player from ZUIPTS, and he gets revived immediately. So the problems have not found solution for Team Evolution, at least.
Absolutely not. These guys are struggling quite a lot. Team Evolution, at least they've been handed another opportunity to get back into this fight. They try to reposition around the circle by going on the edges, but FTW is following them yet again. And they just continue taking their shots. Clown lands another knock. At this point, Team Evolution are trapped between ZUIPTS as well as FTW, and they will not be able to survive this one. Sahil, even after popping the stealth bites, will be discovered by Clown, and he's already down at 35 HP. He's about to get rushed. There's no time to heal. He has to just put up a glue wall and hope that Clown is not able to find that angle in time. Can he get the medkit off? Yes, he does, but I don't think he's been really given any opportunity to escape from here. Clown now going around, finally gets that shot off, but Sahil wins the clutch, and he's responsible for yet another elimination. Now trapped in a 1v4. Evolution have to evolve into the next level. He actually gets one more confirmation before he finally gets down. I think that's very smart. I think that's him getting one more point before he accepts the reality that he cannot win the BOOYAH. And the team that wins the BOOYAH at ZUIPTS, well, congratulations to them. But damn, that was an intense game, man.
You know, Grips, this is the beauty and the unpredictability what Free Fire Max brings in. We were talking about the bigger names, and yet ZUIPTS is the one. In the very first game, they stood high. We were saying the fact that if these underdog teams are able to shine and perform in this group itself, where there are so many experienced players, so many experienced faces, they will definitely love it, and ZUIPTS have done it. In the very first game, they have delivered a BOOYAH with 8 eliminations.
Yo, massive BOOYAH from the side of ZUIPTS. Although that being said, they kind of only activated themselves towards the later end of the game. Before this one, you had some big names fighting each other. iQOO, OGxTSG getting double-digit eliminations. You also had Team Elite trying their level best to survive against Evolution as well as FTW, but then they got sandwiched. And look at the way ZUIPTS basically isolate all these battles over here. They trap Evolution in a cocoon of glue walls. They make sure that FTW cannot flank them from the other side. And all they had to do was get that one last elimination onto Sahil in the end to get the BOOYAH. The MVP of this game is going to be Suffolk with 4 eliminations and 1,997 damage. He is... I mean, he's called himself a rusher. Yeah. Which makes sense considering he's got the enhanced hammer. But all the other abilities, including the Tiva and the Chrono, kind of suggest that he's a hybrid support as well.
You know, a fact, right, Crips, here, that they were known as Team X while they were part of a group stage in TEZ FFMIC 2026 Spring. And right now, the roster still remains the same. The name has changed. They have, been sponsored by an organization called ZUIPTS, and definitely they are doing it. And they're now having that experience, or probably they know the taste of how to perform in this kind of a lobby. And they have chosen the perfect lobby, to be honest, where we were expecting drama, and ZUIPTS have just given that to us. With Safek being the MVP, as he is the rusher of the team. King, he had the, Grenadier role where, it's kind of a default setup with that A124, Beaston, Alavero. And I think, where's the support player? Who was playing there? I don't see a Thiva. That is an unusual setup coming in.
Exactly, right? I mean, there's only like one guy using the Thiva, and he's called himself the Rusher, but he's using the enhanced hammer. So with almost no other supporting abilities, this team is very heavily geared towards more aggression, because Ronak is just using the standard sniper setup. King, yeah, sure, hybrid as a Grenadier. He's got the A124 as well, but iQOO himself isn't really doing much. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, there are two iQOOs in this lobby today. One of them is an ZUIPTS, and the other one was Pahadi's teammate. So please do not confuse one for the other. That's why, I mean, I get a lot of viewers will be confused as to like, oh, this is not iQOO. He doesn't look like this. But yeah, there are two iQOOs playing in the game today, ladies and gentlemen. But the damage distribution is not equal at all. I mean, King did most of the heavy lifting, while this iQOO did only 500 damage. Still, it kind of means that they were really smart about their battles. They don't have as much damage because they never got into that many fights up until the last circle. And because of that, they only have 8 eliminations, and they're overtaken by Team Evolution as well as FTW. Oh, FTW also managed to pick up 13 eliminations. I believe they did land in fields to begin with, so they were fighting early on.
Correct.
But after that, they didn't really do much in the second and third circle. They only got into the more elimination mode towards that massive northern shift of the circle. So Evolution walk away with 23 points, FTW with 21, ZUIPTS with 20, and they're tied with Team Elite.
Yeah, Team Elite also have 20, and iQOO OGxTSG, they had a brilliant start, right? Before we hit the 8-minute mark inside the game, we saw that, iQOO OGxTSG are roaming around casually with 11 eliminations. But, towards the end, they got punished. They got picked off. I think the circle was the problem for sure, because there was a very, very hard shift, and it kept on shifting away from all of the teams towards the extreme northern end, where a lot of teams could not survive the rotation and got punished, where Team Evolution and FTW, since they landed towards that extreme northern end, that is why they had the advantage and probably, got the better of the rest of the lobby. But this is where I think, the momentum shift can come in, because when you start well, you set the day. You can't contradict me with what happened to LXB yesterday, but I don't want to get started on that, Crips.
Yeah, I mean, it is quite weird to see that LXB got eliminated yesterday, even after winning a BOOYAH. So the same can be said for ZUIPTS. One BOOYAH and one game with 20 pointers is not enough for you to win. Yeah. But this kind of shows you their safe and measured approach, right? ZUIPTS, they were close to fields, but they did not participate in the battles like FTW and all the other teams like Team Elite were participating. They just went into a crossroad and picked up that spot. They stayed over there only when the circle forced them to move. I feel bad for a lot of teams like FIREEYES, Lori, and iQOO OGxTSG, considering they had to make that treacherous rotation across the river. They lost their lives in it, and that's why they're not in the top 5. But King's Army, I kind of feel like they had an advantage, but then they just let it go somehow. They kind of lost those fights, even though they had an objectively better position than ZUIPTS.
Yeah, I mean, among all of the scripts, even though this is a little out of context of what happened to the top 5 teams, this happened towards the bottom end, which is SHL Esports. I mean, they are also a shark in the room. And, after coming back from EWC, we had a lot of expectations from this team. And now an expectation word will be, forever written to this team or to wherever they travel to. But right now, SHL Esports couldn't even get a single point. You could say that this is just the first game, but you only have 6 games today. And among the 6 games, you have to find out the best and, encourage so much that you end up in top 9. Otherwise, we can have an upset.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a crazy upset, right? Like, imagine going to EWC, and it's not even like you're just going there and like coming back. No, you're dominating over there.
Correct.
And then you struggle in FFMIC against underdogs in the group stage. That would be the biggest Uno reverse that we have seen in the Indian Free Fire Max history. I still think that it should be easy for them to get into the top 9. I mean, it's not really like SHUL to be at the absolute bottom. However, I kind of feel like after that performance, I have to put them in the third place. I kind of feel like iQOO, OGxTSG were doing really well. They had 13 eliminations in the very start of the game, like in the first 2-3 circles itself. And then they were only eliminated because, you know, the circle was very cruel to them. So that's kind of why I picked them as my first pick.
Yeah. I mean, should I just go out loud and say it? I mean, I would just go out and say it that Team Elite previously have won an official event, and in the very next, you know, national circuit event, they couldn't even qualify. So, I mean, I just had to put it out. So, yeah, SA12 Esports. And there's something that happens and goes wrong with that name, right? You know, there was a situation, and we had a segment also, right, in the last time when we saw SA12 Esports that SA12, is it the name or is it the problem? Because whenever players land into that organization, there's something that goes wrong and players are not able to rather, you know, perform. But I don't know, that's something which goes with the saying or not. But, you know, we have seen it in the past that these players have done well, just hoping so that it was just that first game jitter.
Yeah, let's hope it was just the first game jitter, because if they continue doing this in Kalahari as well, this will be very, very concerning. They're expected to go towards Stone Ridge. That being said, though, it is quite possible that they will move away from Stone Ridge and go towards the sub very quickly after landing. Team Elite, FIREEYES, Glory and SMR supposedly clashing in command post, and then there's a 4-team clash in Refinery. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a 4-team clash. They will probably go in and around Refinery. You know, those three platforms on the western edge, they might just take those, but I do not expect 4 teams to go towards the Refinery center itself. I mean, if all of them go there, then who's going to go to Old Hampton? Who's going to go to Foundation? Those areas cannot really just be uncontested, right?
Yeah, and we know for a fact that this is a map where verticality factor is also going to come into play. The grappling gun comes into play, and it's the sniper's paradise. With only 15 seconds left on the clock, we are about to jump into Kalahari, and I just hope everything changes for the teams who we want to see to perform. But definitely things are working for the underdogs who we have less information about, who we know less about, and they are doing well. For teams like FTW, the W squad, and also for a fact AD ZUIPTS, they had converted a BOOYAH in the last game, so definitely they would want to do it or repeat something consistently in this game itself. And here it is, time for Kalahari, time for actual deserty team map to come into play, where Paradise is going to change in for the snipers.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we get any potential drop clashes right off the bat. Team Elite, instead of going towards their usual spots, are going towards Foundation. Interesting. You have a potential drop clash in Shrines where King's Army and FTW will fight each other. That being said, though, Django and Clown from FTW and King's Army have gone away from the main cluster. No drop clash in Refinery at all. It's only at ZUIPTS over there. But FIREEYES Glory versus SMR will indeed happen in Command Post. Even the sub is going to be heavily contested because you've got Team Evolution as well as SG United fighting each other over there.
You know, not too many clashes as we probably would have thought, or maybe would have had an idea about what happened in the preferred drop spot. But right now, this is SMR and FIREEYES Glory, which though he probably couldn't understand that there was a player chasing him from behind, but Deemu's legs are visible and he's trying to jump, but okay. This man is not in the mood to take the player down. He's just revived. He's using the timeline to just revive his teammate, and Deemu, he never could escape from that situation. It was like a jail for him, and he got taken down there.
Yeah, imagine getting put in jail by a skull and fire emoji. That would be ridiculous. That being said, though, I don't know about jail, but I do know about being trapped in the sub. SG United. It seems like no matter how much they try to go towards safety, they will always encounter Evolution on one or the other angle, even after they use the vending machine. Well, SMR don't survive that battle in Command Post, but Team Evolution, it seems like they've just been fighting a team that has unlimited lives because they were just camping the vending machine and they were using it constantly. Of course, they can't use that anymore, and it will force SG United to go elsewhere because they've already given away 3 points to Team Evolution. And SG United needed those points desperately.
Yeah, but things just went from bad to being worse for SMR. You know, look at the scoreboard. You know, the total points showcases as 2. I mean, after 2 games, only 2 points. That's a very concerning spot to be in. So they have to figure out quickly. But right now, this is Rakers. They also got picked off pretty quickly in the last game. And right now, they are not able to fight back. It's again AD ZUIPTS. What is happening? They have some confidence going in. And they are literally, you know, calling the shots in Refinery, and they have probably forced out Rakers from here.
Yeah, they've even used the UAV to make sure that all the other areas of refinery are covered and all the other enemies are discovered. So, yeah, at this point, Rackers Esports, they have no choice but to run away. One of their players already moving towards Mammoth, and the other one moving away from refinery, but not necessarily towards any particular spot. He's just using the arsenal towards the left of Mammoth. Meanwhile, iQOO, OGxTSG, here who are actually in the main Mammoth POI, have no idea that Rackers are coming towards them. Hold on though, Anshu from Rackers just went towards the maze, so I don't think they will fight him anyway. However, Team Elite versus W Squad is happening right here in Oldhampton. Team Elite dropped in foundation, but then they went north, and now they are fighting W Squad in a pretty cool spot. However, somehow, even King's Army Flash gets caught in this crossfire. I'm guessing that's because Team Elite have sent one of their players somewhere far away. But King's United, King's Army, can they actually survive this encounter? Because it is a 3v3 battle now.
I mean, for a moment I thought that Team Elite fell short on numbers because quite a few players were taken down. Kohli got taken down, Piccolo got into a pickle, but right now King's Army have decided to fall back. They're disengaging from the situation because Pahadi from the higher ground, he has a better angle. He is trying to cause problems as he always does. He has a VSK. And yep, ZZor gets punished. Cropsy is the one who has found out the flank angle. Now the fight is wide open and in favor for Team Elite. And one by one they're picking up the players. ZZor goes down. Flash, will he follow? Yup, he follows as well. Now whole Team Elite have rushed into it. And this looks like a wipeout. Probably the last player has run away from this situation.
Yeah, the last player, Django from King's Army, he wasn't even fighting Team Elite. He was busy trying to shoot down ZUIPTS because ZUIPTS were coming into third party. So Django was basically responsible for holding the third party away while the rest of his team were basically playing a 3v4 against Team Elite. And now Django is like, screw that, I cannot compete here anymore. Let me just run away. Can he actually get away? No, he can't. Shanku from Evolution finds him.
You know, that's a big risk. If somebody is trying that, I think that would be a little difficult to recover if you are spotted as well. But right now, Team Evolution, Sahil, he is in an isolated fight against FIREEYES Glory. Or rather, I should say that Shaurya was the one who was in an isolated situation because he's running away using that stealth bite because there's nowhere near this spot that I can see any players from FIREEYES Glory, but I can see Team iQOO, OGxTSG players flying in towards FIREEYES Glory, and they're getting punished. Ayush comes in, but Maxi God goes down, and it is Krish who punishes him. Sahil is on the rooftop. He puts in the glue wall, but Ayush has been punished already. Krish finds the player, Ayush. Will he be able to get revived? Immediately the player comes in, but before he could land, Krish couldn't revive him, but wait, he jumps and he connects the shot onto Shanku, or Shantanu it is, from Team Evolution, and immediately goes into the vending machine and brings back the team members.
Yeah, at least iQOO, OGxTSG have recovered from their particular losses, but I do not see FIREEYES Glory recovering at all. I mean, these guys were getting picked apart, man. You had Big Sto going towards Santa Catrina, and he got shot down by SG United. Meanwhile, all the other players like Shaurya from FIREEYES Glory, they also ran away in a different direction, and now poor Shaurya is about to get caught by Team Evolution. So, good luck to them, because Shaurya might just not survive that one. And that could be the end of FIREEYES Glory. Meanwhile, you've got a massive battle brewing over here. It's SHUL versus Team Elite. Pahadi versus his ex-team. Can these guys do anything over here before SHUL escapes? They've allowed 2 members to escape, but Jack gets shot down mid-air. Noor just about makes it to the vending machine before Pahadi shoots him. And now look at them fighting each other. Even if Noor loses this battle against Pahadi, he's done his job. He's revived 2 of his players with that vending machine. So Pahadi is already late. But he might be even dead over here. Because Shaurya... Oh no. Bunny comes in. Okay, at least he's here to save them. But Bunny is actually doing so much better. He knocks both Bunny. he knocks Pahadi as well. Kohli also down. Team Elite recovering quite well from this battle. But Jack, he once again goes for the res against Noor. Bunny climbing up. Cropsy trying to shoot him down. Oh my god, Bunny is actually living up to his name. Look at that shot onto Piccolo. Jack wins the fight against Ronak. But finally, Cropsy climbs up and takes Bunny down. I mean, Bunny was hopping around like a rabbit, not gonna lie. He was jumping around so fast. Team Elite had trouble just tracking him.
Yeah. So finally, this fight has come to a rest, and we see that both teams came out of a win-win situation. I mean, both have come out of that fight getting eliminations, and SHUL needed it badly because they needed that confidence, right? They did not get any points, but right now, Maxi God trying the bold move. He was trying to kite him down. Krish with that M590, he shuts him immediately. And the focus shifts on to the rest of the members from Team Evolution. Shanku is running away. Shantanu is stuck in this compound, but his position is known or not. Because right now, Krish, I don't think he has spotted Shantanu. He's trying to take down Shanku. He's chasing him. And so is the rest of the team members. That's why Shantanu is running in an opposite direction. Probably his debate.
Oh my god. Team Evolution
Oh no,
splitting up so much. Can he land safely? Yes, he does. Krish not exactly chasing right behind him, but he's trying to get an off angle and trying to stop him from getting towards Refinery. He knows that Shanku will probably want to go towards another vending machine, and he's just trying to block his path. Meanwhile, he's not the only one over here. I mean, while Shanku, you can see him on your screens, you know that Sahil from Team Evolution is also somewhere far away, and he's trying to revive his teammates near the Santa Catrina recall tower. So let's hope that Team Evolution can actually get all their players back. They only have like one player to res. Even at ZUIPTS get back at full strength, they just res Ronak. However, after they get Ronak, they might just lose Iconic. Gust is shooting him down with that Groza, and he succeeds.
FIREEYES Glory, they themselves are not having full capacity right now. Victor and Sidhu are required to be brought back, but if they go in towards that vending machine, I saw Rakers, but no, they are going towards the recall tower in the maze, and they also have a vending machine, so probably we can say that FIREEYES Glory can also bring back the two members. You know, so much has happened, and we end up seeing Team Evolution with 10 already, Team Elite with 13, TSG with 7, so bigger numbers are slowly being built by these bigger teams, right, from whom we expected the eliminations to come in. But teams like FIREEYES Glory, they're not shying away from the fights whenever it's showing up in towards the door.
Yeah, at least FIREEYES Glory managed to get all their players back up online. Now, Rackers Esports were heading towards the maze to fight FIREEYES Glory, but their players are being picked apart by a completely different team at ZUIPTS. So that was a bit of a split approach. FIREEYES Glory, though, also have a 2-2 split going on right now. But SHUL, look at them. Finally, a team that's having all 4 of their players together. All 4 of them in Bayfront want to take down FTW, and they've laid siege to the house. FTW have used the reinforced blue UAVs to block every single window, but Shobit, wait, where is he getting shot from? Shobit gets a knock onto Cursed, but he's nowhere close to this fight. They need to finish this fight though, because FTW can walk in any time now. FTW versus SHUL, still not resulting in any elimination. They're just staring daggers at each other from across these windows. Empty, he gets shot, but Noor, he can't connect that shot. That's a bit of a bait angle. He can't exactly shoot his opponent even though he can see and aim at him. And now SHUL are wondering, is it even worth it to attack FTW right now? FTW have reinforced this house quite a lot.
This feels like a glue wall battle right now. And SHUL were in no mood to break those glue walls and trying to force in the fight, and that's why they are also buying time. This is a good move. Sometimes it's good to not force any situation. They are inside the circle. They can frankly, divide this compound into half, as they are doing right now. Bayfront is a big city. You can find out good real estate spaces in and around that area. But FTW, they're also not giving away too much. But SHUL, they're trying to find that opening. And how will they find that is the question. Because FTW, they have showed up well. They have showcased that they are a decorated team. But SHUL, will they be able to find that opening? Bunny on the doors, but no. SHUL Troll is the one, and Noor comes in with the Tommy. There's door knocks which were SHUL looking for. And now is the time for SHUL Esports to push in, and the players are running away. Clown trying to run away, but he won't be allowed because Bunny is again chasing him, and Bunny will immediately shut him down, and FTW, the whole roster, is pulled out of the lobby.
Yep, so SHUL have Bayfront all for themselves now, but they need to gatekeep all the other teams from coming in as well. I can see W Squad moving towards Bayfront at rapid pace. SHUL need to gatekeep them as well. Even FIREEYES Glory, they might just move towards the Bayfront quad compound towards the northern side, but the actual Bayfront city, it's only occupied by SHUL. That is, unless they cannot stop W Squad, then they will also be a resident of this city and the population will rise to 8. iQOO OGxTSG have just positioned themselves around the river bend, so they should be safe as well. Nobody to gatekeep them. That being said though, this circle is about to shift. I want to see where it goes. Is it going to be a hard shift towards the north? Yes, it will. Oh my god.
Yeah.
The worst thing that could happen to W Squad and SHUL has happened. The circle shifts hard towards the north. Only Team Evolution seem to be in the circle for now. And iQOO OGxTSG might have to fight Evolution for a spot in the game.
There's something wrong with the circle movements today, Crips. This is the second time this is happening and it's moving far and far away from the players. And once again, I can say the circle can create a lot of problems. Right now, Rakers now being sniped by Troll. Snoll, he gets one or rather two from this situation and he converts two of them. Piccolo finds onto Wixto. FIREEYES, Glory and Rakers are in the radar of SHUL Esports and they're finding elimination. So finally, the team is back.
Yeah, luckily FIREEYES Gaming, they were in control of the Bayfront quad compound, so that vending machine that is available to them, they use it instantly and get that onto Wixto. But FIREEYES Gaming, instead of going towards the circle directly, are gonna take some pot shots first at SHUL and W Squad. They will try to get a couple of eliminations before they move in towards that bridge. Because that's the only team that can really shoot at them. Jack gets a lovely double W Spark down. Should be able to get the confirmation again, but Ruka takes down Troll. Even Noor goes down. It's all up to Jack right now. They're getting shot by both Rackers as well as FIREEYES Glory right now. And they didn't even fight both of these teams. They only wanted to fight against W Squad, but suddenly this has gone from a third party to a fourth. At least they deal with one of these parties. They eliminate W Squad, and now they must find the remaining members of Rackers.
Yeah, but right now, Shantanu, he is isolated. He got dashed, but he jumps out of the situation, trying to avoid the situation, but he won't be able to. iQOO OGxTSG. Shantanu is picked off by him. It's for Krish who got that elimination, but iQOO OGxTSG. Now, while they step outside, they can find out so many teams outside the circle. They can create so much problem, but
oh my god,
the one shutting down that player. Was it Spari? No, it was some player from SG United who got that pick. And now Arjun, the focus shifts onto SG United. They're on the edge, trying to survive, using the monster truck as a cover and trying to put in those glue walls. But things are not stopping. SHUL Esports Troll is out in the open. He's barely surviving. How will he manage to get his position is revealed as well, Crips. This is going to be an inevitable situation for him. Yep, he's picked off by Pahadi.
So he was so concerned about the people right next to him. He was so concerned about Rackers Esports and ZUIPTS. He forgot that Team Elite can also shoot him down from the tower. Team Elite, they actually have a pretty decent vantage point, but they will have to leave it and get into the zone, which is currently being controlled by Rackers Esports, or rather should I say one member of Rackers Esports. The other one probably not in the same house with him. ZUIPTS have a decent enough position. They don't need to cover too much distance, so they can use that sweet time to gatekeep all the other teams. They were trying to shoot down TSG, but it seems like TSG will not be harmed at all. Even though Team Elite shoot down Krish, they can easily res him back up. They still have the chrono, and Piccolo is down. Team Elite stepped out of their little hiding holes to take down TSG, but now they have to be worried about ZUIPTS as well. And ZUIPTS, given the position that they enjoy in the zone right now, have free reign. They can shoot at everybody. They can even shoot at Team Evolution, who's coming in from behind, but TSG are busy fighting against Evolution. Maxi God, surviving on his last legs, has to somehow pop the meds before he moves into the zone. But everybody's gonna focus on him. He's getting shot from both ZUIPTS as well as Team Elite. But Elite have bigger problems. Rackers are still continuing to pester them. Rackers gets a knock onto Piccolo. Even though Piccolo gets rezzed instantly, Anshu Jr.'s position is revealed. And Team Elite are like, wait, that's actually a pretty good little house. We can eliminate Rackers and take that house for ourselves. And then we'll be safe against ZUIPTS.
Anshu Jr. Yeah, he has placed the landmine, Crips. And if, oh no, that has been spotted already. And now these players know that they do not want to step into this situation. At least they have to go in together. Anshu Jr., he finally has to run away, but he doesn't have a gun in his hand, and he's trying to play a ringa rose with the team, and Team Elite gets their 23rd elimination. Now melters and nades are being thrown from TSG's end. The focus has shifted. The numbers advantage for Team Elite and ZUIPTS, can it pay off? But both of them are fighting side by side, and they're, we're peppering onto iQOO OGxTSG, and finally Team Elite decides to rush onto ZUIPTS.
ZUIPTS need to bear the brunt against the Mumbai qualifier team. Piccolo going wild. Pahadi with a double elimination. He also eliminates iQOO OGxTSG in the process. 2v4. ZUIPTS have to hold on to their own horses, but Kohli dismounts them. Team Elite get the booyah, and it is redemption for Pahadi and Cropsy. After not being able to get into the finale in the last season, Pahadi comes back, claws his way back up from the Mumbai City qualifiers through the play-ins and into the group stage where his team gets a massive 25+ point booyah.
It is redemption point for Piccolo, Cropsy, Pahadi, Kohli being the new joinee for this team. But what a comeback, what a team it has turned out to be. They dominated in the plains. They have got 30+ eliminations, Crips. And we
30
have to
plus,
give
oh
them
damn.
Exactly 30 is the exact number. 30 elimination. And I mean, Team Elite has a knack of getting elimination, and we didn't even know that how Team Elite could end up getting such big numbers because they were standing, they had the higher ground, they were constantly focusing on circle rotation. Pahadi was there, towards the higher ground. He had the sniper in his hand. He was constantly peppering teams. He plucked, so many players, so many solo survivors. Look at the last shot. There was a moment that ZUIPTS and Team Elite both have 4 players alive, and iQOO, OGxTSG were fighting 3-man. And both the teams started peppering onto iQOO, OGxTSG, and immediately the focus shifted onto ZUIPTS and Team Elite. Before we could, say something or we could, find out what was happening, I think they pushed onto ZUIPTS and they got the eliminations in their favor.
Oh damn, ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 Sniper of the Year, Pahadi, coming through once again with his signature sniper playstyle. And unlike most of the other snipers who have already moved on to using Morse, he still uses the good old Skylar with the Rafael, Maro and Moko and the AWM. 9 eliminations for this star with 5,092 damage. These are just average Pahadi numbers. These are just the normal big games that we expect from him all the time. But every once in a while, he shows us why he is the GOAT.
Yep, exactly. And I think Pahadi is one of the snipers who doesn't like running away from the situations. He brings the fight onto other teams, and he's always known to be an aggressive sniper, and he has done it once again. As you were talking about Pahadi's setup, we see Morse is being used by Piccolo. So if you have a Skylar and a Morse, how do you defend, my friend? This is such an attacking lineup. I can see Kohli being the supporter, right? Cassie, Thiva already equipped onto his lineup, and also for Piccolo he has a Thiva. So Thiva probably for Piccolo is to support himself or maybe sometimes support his teammates. But how do you deal with a Morse and a Skylar, man? I mean, I can't even think that in a close range battle, you can always get tricked.
Exactly. I mean, I've been talking about hybrid setups, but then Piccolo comes through with the biggest hybrid setup of them all.
Yeah.
He's got the most, which every sniper uses, but then he's also the Grenadier with the Piston and Alvaro, and he's got the Thiva. So, he's trying to be the sniper, the Grenadier, as well as the healer of the team. I mean, at least Kohli was doing the dedicated healing, right? He's got the Cassie and everything. So, at least one guy has a clear definition, clear role over here as the dedicated support guy. Even though he's got the sniper, even though he's got the rusher tag on him. I mean, come on, if someone's getting 9 eliminations, you would not exactly call that guy the support. And everybody with more than 3,000 points of damage at the minimum. Cropsy crossing the 4k mark, Pahadi crossing the 5k mark. These are just ridiculous numbers that Team Elite has dropped over here. I mean, I was able to keep track of their points up until 25 eliminations, but in the last circle, I didn't even realize they got to 30. That's how dominant they were. 42 points in one single game. Guys, I think they've already qualified, bro. This is done. They can lay down their phones.
Exactly, you can say it that way. And I always say that Team Elite has a knack of getting eliminations, and they have again proved. But we have to talk about iQOO, OGxTSG. They stepped up again. The consistency factor for iQOO, OGxTSG is there. They're sticking to the basics. They're getting eliminations. They're getting the survival game going in. In the last game, even though they could not get the survival points in a sufficient way or a quantity, but this time around they made sure that they end up with 21. So did SA2L Esports. After a bad start in the first game, they ended up getting 19. But if you have a look at the circle rotation, you see Team Elite towards Foundation. They were there constantly. They're fighting against ZUIPTS, and they did not rotate inside the center because they knew that the circle, or rather, there was some call that they knew that the circle will shift towards the edge, and that is why you see their movement towards the edge lines and not towards the center.
Yeah, I mean, Team Elite just stuck to the northern part of the map today. They got 11 eliminations in the first circle itself, because they immediately went from the drop location and Foundation to Old Hampton, immediately getting into a lot of fights, and then just a randomly somewhat quiet third circle where they did not really do much, and then they controlled the northern sector entirely. They were basically bullying at ZUIPTS, Rackers Esports, Evolution Esports. Even though Evolution Esports was on the southern end, Team Elite was still taking shots at them. And then iQOO, OGxTSG, what can I even say? iQOO, OGxTSG were trying to save their skin against Rackers, but Evolution, they also were shooting at iQOO, OGxTSG, and Elite ended up getting the final laugh. It was a very, very chaotic game, and Team Elite basically had free reign over the entire sector. They could take shots at everybody. They had all the angles, and that's exactly why they're at 62 points with 43 eliminations. Just to give you a comparison, Elite have 43 eliminations, and the team next to them has only 41 overall points. Nobody's even close to Team Elite.
Exactly. And I mean, it's the nature of Team Elite, right? I again have to say that whenever Team Elite ends up playing well, it turns out to be a one-sided affair. You saw how play-ins turned out to be. They made sure that they are the top-heavy team itself. They got 146 or rather 147 odd points. And that is a huge number if you say that if you have only 6 games. And again, they have started well. Only 2 games. They have 60-plus points already on the board. What more do you need? You only need to be there towards the top 9 spot. You don't need the first position. But that's how Team Elite is, and our prediction comes in, and there's no way I would leave them out of my prediction.
Yeah, I'm actually glad that you've also picked up Rackers Esports in this one, because after seeing their performance in Kalahari, given the difficult situation that they were in, getting shot by 3 different teams, Rackers Esports still did really well for themselves. So I was like, okay, let's finally pick up an underdog. Everyone's going to pick Team Elite, everyone's going to pick SHUL. I've also gone for Evolution in this particular map, because Nextera happens to be one of the most aggressive maps, one of the most elimination heavy maps, and I feel like Team Evolution have the firepower to do it. That being said, though, we are about to approach the halfway mark of the day, and SHUL do not have enough points. They don't even have 20, bro. So yeah, things are gonna get very difficult for teams like SHUL if they don't step up in this map.
Yeah, the preferred drop spots comes in, and this looks a little believable, Cribs. I mean, if you saw how the first 2 drop spots turned out to be, where 7 teams were fighting or contesting an area, where 5 teams were trying to grab control of refinery, that was not little believable. This we can at least buy that, it's a widespread. There are a few teams who are definitely going to try to, steal the situation. But we were talking about SATUL. Probably that's because of the first game, right? They did not even end up getting single point. They have started from the second map itself. They have 19, so probably they would want that the confidence should build up from now on, because they are in the 9th or the 8th position, but that's not a good spot to be in. Knowing the fact what happened yesterday, you do not want to end up in a situation where you're stuck with another team, because Team Elite is stealing away the points, and so is iQOO, OGxTSG and Team Evolution. They are being the consistent one. Let's jump into Nextera and find out who ends up getting the third game.
The third game has to be the most aggressive game, Nextera, the map which consistently sees 100+ eliminations on any given day. It's on your screens now, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to mark the halfway of the day. So let's see if teams can step up now, or whether they will have to go into overtime when they go into the last 3 maps. I see a potential drop clash, SC United versus SMR and Mortar Ruins. Although SMR only have sent that one guy, Demu, towards Mortar Ruins. So it's not exactly a big clash, more like one guy being hunted. I see a potential drop clash near Deca Square and Mudside, with iQOO, OGxTSG going towards the Mudside region. However, Demu was not the only one. The rest of his teammates also went in over here, and they are struggling against SC United. Gahib goes down, Demu steps into the time turner, hoping to get that spray, but none of them have any weapons. It's Gahib with a Uzi who is able to get them, and Demu wins that. Gahib almost had that elimination, but Demu still comes out on top, and that is gonna be a very, very bad start for that team. Meanwhile, while that was happening in Mortar Ruins, we have a potential clash, FTW versus SHUL in Deca Square.
Yep, and I can already see Krish jumping and dancing in the vicinity, so probably a third party coming in if this fight brews up. FTW, they have shown us good potential. They have more than what SHUL have right now, and so if SHUL wants to fight, they would probably want to end up in the right direction. And the last time we saw FTW and SHUL fighting, SHUL got the better of them. So numbers definitely in favor of SHUL. They are building a plan right now. They're playing it slow, but they have closed in the distance. Rain, he has to do it, but Jack, he dashes in. There's are players who are not here, so empty. He doesn't know the players have flanked him, and he has no clue. The Chrono Shield being activated, the Electrotherapy comes into play, but he has just bought some time for his team. The numbers are back for FTW, Cribs.
Numbers are back for FTW, but SAGUL will put them right back down. Jack with the Max 7 finds a tiny gap in the glue wall, finds one elimination, but Rage In eliminates Jack with a skill. Noor comes through to avenge his fallen teammates, but empty with the double. He takes down both Noor as well as Bunny. And poor Troll, he was providing cover fire from afar, and now he's gonna have to just get his teammates back. Puts up the stealth bites and gets out of there immediately. Now, there's plenty of vending machines in this area, but he doesn't have enough money. But what he also doesn't have is enough room to work with, because FIREEYES Glory are also arriving near that area. It's good that he escaped the Tech Square region when he did, because if he did not, then he would have been victim to iQOO OGxTSG, because Krish is here to see what's happening. But by the time Krish here, he's like, oh guys, the fight is over. We are a little late. We can't third party now.
You know, whenever we see a map of Nextella, Deca Square is always the hot spot. And we have always seen 3, 4, even 5, 6 teams fighting in this area, in the plains itself. And, you know, yesterday also Deca Square was a hot spot. Right now, this feels like a situation where, again, Deca Square is going to be a situation, but not for long. This is much side we're looking at. And this is iQOO OGxTSG fighting against KINGZ Army. Light out in the open, Ronit. He doesn't even blink before he could take down that player. What was he trying? I mean, definitely caught slacking there, KINGZ Army, Light.
Wow. I mean, it's only iQOO OGxTSG who can take down 2 teams at once. They're fighting KINGZ Army as well as they're fighting FTW over here. But while all of that is happening, FIREEYES Glory succumb under the pressure. Their last player discovered and hunted down. Now iQOO OGxTSG finally realized that they might have bitten off a bit more than they could chew, but as soon as I say that, Krish is like, shut up, Cribs. We know what we're doing. He instantly takes down Clown. And anyone else who's trying to pressure Krish, look at them. Ragin trying to shoot the flames from below, hoping that he will be able to force Krish to jump down. That's not gonna happen. Luckily, FTW have access to vending machines, so they can revive their players. But how much longer can they hold on? Because FTW, 3 of the players' positions are revealed, and iQOO OGxTSG have set up the traps. 1 HP KO bot finally takes down Krish. That's the guy on the high ground that they needed to eliminate right away. If with Krish out of the picture, iQOO OGxTSG will need to reposition very hard, and they've already spotted where Arjun is going.
Ronit, he still is in a situation where a lot of things, a lot of information can be gained, and Deca Square is certainly slowly being emptied, because one FTW players are either being spotted and getting eliminated, and they were actually trying to retreat from this situation. Rain, he has the plasma weaponry in his hand, but we focus towards Mortar Ruins, where this vending machine is being contested, and Django, he has a charge buster in his hand. He hasn't connected the shot. This is SMR. Zimu had a good start, but not this time. Django manages to take him down and completely finishes him. What was his teammate doing? It was a 1v2 situation. Why was that an isolated fight? But probably Dhruva wanted to bring back Zimu, but the nade is being cooked from Django. But the revival is done, and Dhruva has repositioned. I mean, that's DVG who has repositioned.
Yeah, DVG dodges the nade, and there you go. A third party has arrived. ZUIPTS is over here. It doesn't matter if it's KINGZ Army or if it's SMR. ZUIPTS is gonna come in here and sweep the floor with all of them.
ZUIPTS? Huh? Wait, mysterious? What was that entry, man?
It's the opposite of a superhero entry. That's how the villain enters. He crashes the car into another compound. Something straight out of a Rohit Shetty movie. Scorpios flipping over everywhere. But look at this one. They've got one more player gone, and this time it's Shobit. He's trying to run around, but nobody's gonna let him escape. Safik finds him. And at ZUIPTS, they have claimed yet another victim from a third team. It's like they want the variety, man. They think the variety is the spice of life, and now this is their 4th opponent. This is them fighting against SG United. In the last 1 minute, they've taken down 3 players from 3 different teams, with the potential of the 4th victim from a 4th different team being added to the list right now.
Hey, but you know, they have already converted those knocks into elimination. They have 10 already. And the member who was taken out, he's been brought back. But SG United, they want to take the fight towards ZUIPTS, but this is not a good decision because the circle is not going to help them. It's against them. They have to rotate inside. But iQOO, OGxTSG, they are constantly pressurizing Rakers. Their arch rivals as Kid was one at one time. Of course, we have spoken about this, that he used to be a part of this roster. But right now, he's in the wrong end. He's in the receiving end, and iQOO, OGxTSG gets the better of Rakers in that spot. But SG United, they were chasing, but they end up getting eliminated. Gahib is the solo survivor, and Iconic and Safiq are taking them for the cleaners, Cribs.
Yep, this is cleaning the floor with them. Gahib tries to get outside. He's thinking that he could probably get the shot onto Iconic while he wasn't looking, but Iconic turns around and puts an M590 slug right in his face. Great jumping shot as well. Russia, now the last man standing, has to somehow escape and fight for his life. So while he's running for his life, we have iQOO, OGxTSG trying to gatekeep Team Evolution. Now keep in mind, this is just the second circle, so it doesn't hurt that much. However, both these teams need to cover a massive distance and get into the zone, which is just towards the east of Plazaria. It's a massive hard shift towards the west. Arjun trying to close in the distance. Krish also moving through. Team Evolution not really stopping his advance. And by the time to discover him, Krish has already closed in the gap. Shanku trying to fall back, hoping that he will be able to fight alongside MaxiGod so that he has a better chance of trading out. And Krish realizes that, hey, wait, these guys probably are together. Let me ask Arjun to provide some cover fire. And Arjun does that. He takes down one more. So, yeah. TSG have the advantage right now. They know that Evolution will move towards the vending machine, so he's ready to guard it. Krish tries to pre-fire. Doesn't work out at all. Evolution get the res anyway.
Yeah, I mean, for a fact, Shanku and MaxiGod, they're still stuck. They cannot run away from the situation. They can either win this or probably get taken down, but there are players still there in the vicinity. You see Shobit, in and around this situation. Ronit uses the nade. Wait, it ended up being a good grenade, but not any damage. MaxiGod trying to do something while jumping out of the window. He got taken down. Shanku is alone in this situation. He dashes in. He goes inside that chrono shield. He puts Ayush down. Krish is fighting. It's a 1v1. But the rest of the teammates came in for the save. And immediately Ayush is brought back. But for a moment, Shanku, got the better of iQOO, OGxTSG.
Exactly. I mean, he almost isolated both those fights, dashing straight into the time turner to get that 1v1. Valiant effort, but hey, he's done enough. He's gotten just enough time for his team to get away. Team Evolution running into the zone now. Even iQOO, OGxTSG using the launchpad to get there safely. But look at W Squad and SMR, both of them fighting each other in Museum. Both these teams need to move south into the zone, but it seems like the only south that they're going towards is down, straight into the depths of hell. DBG desperately trying to cover that staircase so that he can stop W Spark from moving through. But that staircase can be climbed. He's using the railings as cover. DBG has got himself enough time to go for the heal, and he jumps right into Aditya's crosshair. That was a valiant effort once again, but SMR really not having a good time over here in this lobby. Down to their last player, down to their last penny, and they have a distinct lack of points over here, which I do not think they will be able to recover from.
Yeah, this looks very, very concerning, Krebs, for SMR. They only have so little to play with, but iQOO, OGxTSG, this team is not stopping. Now, this time towards Plazaria. They're taking the fight to whichever spot they are jumping towards. You spoke about them rotating, using the launch pad, and they launched into a team right now. But it is ZUIPTS who are literally running onto them. You talk about confidence, that has to be confidence, right? ZUIPTS, they've already showcased what they have got in them. 14 eliminations in this game already, and they want more. But right now, iQOO, OGxTSG, they're swaying away. The decision is no more fight for us. We probably focus on the rotation.
Yeah, I mean, ZUIPTS are like a raging bull. They will just charge into you, and they've been fighting recklessly all game, not even getting punished for it. 14 eliminations for them. At least iQOO, OGxTSG, they know when to back out. They know when to not stick around. So as soon as they saw that ZUIPTS was closing in towards them, iQOO, OGxTSG like, nope, we're gonna get into the circle first. Let's prioritize that battle. Let ZUIPTS do whatever they want to do. Unfortunately, Team Evolution also need to get into the zone, and they run into ZUIPTS instantly. But instead of fighting each other, they are actually going for the smarter move and backing off. UAVs used, so all the information that AdZuips require, they have it. And even they realize that it is the smarter play to go into the zone first, get right next to iQOO OGxTSG, leave Team Evolution down in the blue zone so that they can make that treacherous crossing by themselves. But can they be gate kept? AdZuips, get inside the house. They are safe. But it is quite possible for iQOO OGxTSG to ruin their day just yet. But I think Team Evolution is going to have a much harder time because they're going to drive past both these teams and you better believe they're going to get shot.
Yep, iQOO OGxTSG, this time they have focused on the circle, but right now they can definitely create problems for Team Evolution. They're just waiting. Arjun with that AWM, he's trying to break some heads. Sahil, don't show your head right now, brother, or you're going to get in trouble. Oh no, the shot connects, but not a headshot for him. He has less HP to work with, but the players are moving in. Krish finds the first one. The UAV drone is activated. So many freeze nades and grenades being thrown at them. Utilities peppered. Maxigod brought back. Sahil is trying so much to bring back his team. Immediately, Evolution, they put a glue wall on the window itself, but Roneth is waiting with that Max 7. He takes down one member. As iQOO OGxTSG, the players jump down, and so is AdZuips. A third party comes in for them, Crips.
Yeah, AdZuips definitely cannot watch by and just let this fight happen. They have to get a buy off it. They jump right inside. Safik gets Krish. That's a confirmation right there. iQOO OGxTSG permanently down one member because there's no vending machines left in this zone. So no revives possible. Any player you lose right now, they are gone. They are done and dusted. Meanwhile, Team Elite and SHUL are also fighting each other. Both these teams have a 3v3 battle on their hands, and this could be the one that determines which team controls the western sector of this zone. Team Elite using the grenade launchers, hoping to flush Soul out, but they're just not getting any angles at all. Nade tossed in, but it's gonna get blocked by the glue walls, of course. And SHUL, they just want to reinforce the evolves. They repel Team Elite away because Team Elite are busy fighting W Squad right now. And while all of that is happening, iQOO OGxTSG win the battle against AdZuips. The two of the most elimination-hungry teams in the lobby have finally concluded who's better.
Oh no, Team Elite themselves are in a bit of a pickle, but Piccolo himself, he has a grenade launcher. SHUL knows it's a solo survivor. They run onto him, but Piccolo trying to run away from that spot. He's trying to create at least a space, and he takes down Pulse with that Max 7 shot. And he's found himself a breather, but that's outside the circle. The focus shifts onto W Squad, where SHUL are waiting for them. SHUL, they've somehow managed to survive in this fight, and Team Elite gets eliminated. Troll is the one who takes down Aditya there, and they have focused on the circle. The bigger picture is focusing on the circle right now, but they have to pay attention on what is W Squad doing.
Yeah, W Squad right now just pressing their W and moving forward. SHUL also racing W Squad into the zone. They've lost Jack already, but iQOO OGxTSG are taking shots at everybody right now. They take down the KINGZ army. Even W Squad succumbs under the pressure of the zone and SHUL both simultaneously shooting them down and peppering away at them. And now separated by the river, separated by the water, it's iQOO OGxTSG with 23 eliminations and SHUL, both of them turning their attention towards SG United. It's iQOO OGxTSG and W Squad. They both had to somehow pepper down SG United to let them get into this spot, only for them to get shot on both sides. SHUL also lose a member, but Noor does really well to keep Roneth humble. Instant knock comes through, but Roneth can be revived. 2v3 when it comes to SHUL versus iQOO OGxTSG. But somehow SG United, even though they were getting shot by both the teams, have stabilized for the time being. And I think for the next 30 odd seconds we will see the great calm. It is the calm before the storm, Oro.
Yeah. Yep, and SHUL, they don't have the numbers in their favor, and they're fighting against SG United, and they take down Russia, but immediately brought back the Thiva effect coming in. The nades being thrown from Troll's end, the nades being thrown from the other end as well. iQOO OGxTSG, they would love this fight to brew, because they can do a third party, and they're being chased right now. SG United, they're closing in the distance, they puts in the glue wall, but Ayush is the one who creates problems. He is the intermediator, and Russia has been eliminated, and iQOO OGxTSG, they have somehow ended up helping SHUL Esports.
Yup, 3v2v2. iQOO OGxTSG even the odds out for SHUL so that they can have a fair battle against SG United. But speaking of fair, that's extremely exaggerated because Arjun has angles onto both Champ as well as Gahib. He takes down SG United. 2v3. It's Roneth facing his old organization. iQOO OGxTSG versus SHUL, the battle for the ages in a 2v3, and Troll and Noor are losing most of their health to the zone. Roneth puts in the final nail in the coffin, and iQOO OGxTSG win their booyah.
Yeah, and Roneth is super happy, and so is Arjun, Ayush, and Krish. This is where the game turns out to be very fair and square for iQOO OGxTSG, as they kept the booyah. They have also ended up getting, quite a few elimination. If I have to exactly number it, probably it's more than 25 clips. So another big game coming in from a team, and this is, what is expected from a team like an iQOO OGxTSG.
I mean, this is a different shade of iQOO OGxTSG, right? Because we know Roneth as the rotation-heavy IGL, the guy who always guides this team to safety. He has never activated the elimination switch this hard. And I've never seen iQOO OGxTSG be this opportunistic and be this aggressive before. This is a new shade that I'm seeing on Roneth's face, and frankly, I'm loving it.
Yeah, 28 is the number. The only time I think Roneth did focus on the elimination number was the last time in TEZ FFMIC 2026 spring. That's where I think Team Elite created that record when Roneth was leading alongside Sohan and Vota went on a crazy streak. And and after that, right after that, Crips, they got eliminated. But not for this time. At least they are, consistently showcasing that what they have gotten in them. This is the last shot. SA12, of course, they got helped. Actually, they didn't have to fight SG United because it was all iQOO OGxTSG, who they peppered onto them, and they didn't even have to break a sweat while fighting SA12 as well. Even if that was a 2v3 situation against SA12, but iQOO OGxTSG and Arjun, they're making it so simple. 10 elimination. We saw Pahadi in the last game with 9 elimination. He has bettered him with 1 elimination extra.
1 extra elimination and 1,800 damage extra. With 6,823 damage in total, Arjun is on fire. I mean, he's living up to his name, right? Mythologically, Arjun was the sharpshooter, and well, there you go. From the ancient Indian ages to 2026, Arjun remains as the sharpest shooter in the lobby. Wow. And this is not even using something crazy. Like, he's using the standard sniper loadout with the most Rafael Moro Marco. And that's actually cool because the Rafael helps him get those eliminations much quicker. He doesn't let his opponents have any opportunity to go for the faster revives. Unless they have a Tiva, he's getting that elimination. Let's see if there's a bit of a hybrid setup over here. Not really. It's actually quite a standard loadout. Roneth is the dedicated Grenadier / IGL with the Beastin and Alvaro, and the A124 is very well timed from him. Even Ayush using the Chrono along with the Tiva and Joseph, that's pretty standard for a hybrid rusher / support player. And then you got Krish, who's using the full-blown rushing setup with the enhanced hammer as well. And he's got a Tiva. So yeah, these teams, they cover each other's bases really well. And even though Krish did not really do much, he still has 2,000 damage, which is very impressive, even by itself. But then you take a look at the numbers of the other team members, and you got 3,000 damage on Roneth as well as Ayush. Arjun at 6.8. These are some ridiculous numbers, man.
While all the other big teams were just warming up in the first game, we can say that because it was kind of a gimmicky, but second and the third match has completely been dominated and decimated by the bigger names. Team Elite in the second game where they had 40 plus points. And again, iQOO OGxTSG, they land another 40 bomber. I mean, 40 points, getting 28 elimination, 12 off the booyah. That's superb. But at ZUIPTS, they are being consistent. We have to talk about this team. Among the big names, this is a team who has showcased that we are here and we will make sure that we qualify to the next stage.
Yeah. I mean, I think qualification is just the bare minimum, right?
Yeah.
When you talk about qualifications, you will be referring to teams like SMR, Rackers Esports, FTW, teams that need these points. But with iQOO OGxTSG, it's all about domination. I am genuinely surprised to see FIREEYES Glory have a terrible game with 0 points this time. And even SHUL, they did not really do that much, right? Only 4 eliminations for a team having so much firepower. Yes, 13 points is respectable, but we expect more from the team like SHUL Esports. Let's take a look at the circle analysis, because then you should be able to see where iQOO OGxTSG were heading all throughout. They landed near the boxing gym, and you can see that there weren't too many teams who were pressuring them at the start. So they went towards Deca Square, hoping to third party between FIREEYES Glory as well as FTW, but they were a little little too late. So they went back towards mud side, got 7 eliminations, and then they quickly rushed into the zone while they were racing against Team Evolution and trying to get into the zone way before Evolution and FTW can make it over there. And once they got inside, they just held that zone and they peppered everyone from afar. 5 eliminations in the 4th circle, 10 in the last circle. It is a full-on masterclass from iQOO OGxTSG. And while you know that Ronit is a very rotation-smart IGL, he made those rotations, but after a point, his position was so good, they're like, yeah, we don't need to rotate. Let's just shoot everybody.
Yeah, they maximized it, and definitely they've climbed up the ladder, and they have 79 right now. They are at the top spot. You know, the throning team elite, they have 72. The only 2 teams who are fighting for the top spot is iQOO OGxTSG and Team Elite, because they are definitely having fun and they are trying to dominate and trying to do better or get the better of each other at least. And among them is ZUIPTS, who have 55 points, and following is Team Evolution. These are the other 2 teams who have done well, or to be fair, I would say that they have been able to get those points in their favor, but I'm not so happy with what FC Esports are doing. I think that first game where they had 0 points have costed them big time, but in that recovery period, right, where they were at the bottom before this game, they were at the 8th position. Now they're climbing up on the 7th spot. So with 32 points, I would not say that they are actually safe. They would really need another big game to probably be called as a safe or qualified to the next stage.
Yes.
But again, you already mentioned that qualification is bare minimum or rather expected from a team like SA2L Esports.
Exactly. Even FIREEYES Lodi, I know that this is not the same FIREEYES team that we saw in the previous season, but like, come on, the organization, the creator of FIREEYES Gaming, he's built up a reputation for himself now. So even though FIREEYES Lodi are a relatively new team, it is kind of weird to see them on the 11th spot. I had much better expectations from them. So yeah, that's what happens when you have one single bad game. A single bad game with 0 points and you can end up in the danger zone. That's what happened to FIREEYES Glory this time. For SA2L, it happened in the first game. A single game where you get 0 points, you can basically kiss elimination goodbye. But for all the other teams, it seems like they're holding on to their own. I believe that ZUIPTS might just end up becoming the best underdog from Group B, because even though this lobby is super stacked, they're holding their own.
Yeah, I mean, they have the experience. So when I said that they have already landed in a group stage, the last time they, in TEZ FFMIC 2026 spring, they were known as Team X. They got knocked out in this stage itself. So this time they are trying to do it in a better way. They have the organization support, and they are, absolutely getting in those points and supporting each other and trying to be better of what they were in the last version of TEZ FFMIC 2026 spring. But right now, the 3 games are done for. We are still left out with the 3 more games, but for now, we will go on and take a short little break. While we come back, the last 3 games will be live. You guys are watching TEZ Free Fire Max India Cup 2026 Fall. This is the group stages, week 1, day 2.
the bottom three trying to claw their way up, the top three are actually enjoying today's day because they have so much eliminations. It seems like they've already qualified to the next round. But let's not forget, another storyline is up the horizon because SA2L is trying to make their comeback. You guys are watching TEZ FFMIC India Cup 2026 fall. With me on the desk is going to be Azora, myself, Arka, and we'll try our best to make sure that there's no stone unturned. But for now, Azora, I have one big question for you. Do you think SA2L can actually replicate what OGxTSG or Team Elite is doing right now?
I believe they have the knack to do that. Absolutely, they are a star-studded team. The way they have performed already, representing India in the foreign soil, I have been super mesmerized by the performance. So this is just a start. I know there are some hiccups that they've already faced, so it's all right. Take a step back, refresh yourselves, and get back into the game. It's as simple as that. So yeah, to answer your question, they can replicate it easily.
Yeah, hopefully they should be able to, because in the upcoming games, if they are not able to do that, I know it's all about trying to qualify into the next round, trying to hide your strategy, don't be an open book and be a surprise in the upcoming games. But at the same time, you know, a lot of expectations, right? The fans of SA2L, they're going bonkers in the chat. They're like, I know that they're going to hit a 40-pointer anytime soon. So hopefully we'll be able to see that. But with that, we're also looking at our predictions. I'm going to go with OG, SA2L and Team Elite as always, because these are the three teams who are just, my goodness, the best in the country right now.
Indeed, man. And Team Elite, they have been proving themselves day after day. I do understand there are slightly problematic situations where they just came out from, but they did it so well, man. Second game itself, the entire team was so happy. But prior to this, in the plains itself, we could see some lovely games coming in from their end itself, from 40-pointer to a 41-pointer. So they can up their ante at any given time. And that's where I would say Bermuda is going to be one of the vanilla maps where this team can yet again shine bright like a diamond.
Oh, hopefully it's going to be a diamond, because all these rubbles, all these stones trying to fight it out, one amongst them under pressure needs to be the diamond to make sure they move forward into the next round. Nonetheless, since the upcoming map is a very default one and everybody knows it, let's look at the drop locations where we see the peak region having a bit of a kerfuffle. Observatory as well, and we all know this is just deception, right? Because Mars Electric Factory, Cape Town, all these places being empty. Nah, that's for another day.
I'm not going to buy it. Absolutely not. Western to the middle side is completely populated. Bermuda, we have never seen this kind of a pivot coming in. Sentosa also is another spot where teams love to head towards. And from there on, you can call in the rotation and, well, the kind of gameplay they can brew right in. I'm just waiting for those big brain gameplays to come through, Arka, so that we all can enjoy this entire game with a cup of coffee.
Absolutely right. At the same time, I also want the people watching this to leave their predictions out there, because it's a map of Bermuda. You guys know this place so well. You know the team so well. So obviously, you guys have been special when it comes to the predictions, and most of you are coming out right. So I'm going to put you guys in the spotlight for now. At the same time, Ozora, there's been a bit of a change when it comes to Team Elite, is what I believe.
Right.
From the beginning of the day, they seem to be in a very aggressive mode. They're not taking no for an for a fight. So do you believe that they're going to continue the same fray?
I hope they do, Arka. If they do not do the same thing, then it's going unnatural ways.
Yeah.
So you're already set yourself to success by getting all of those early skirmishes, winning those fights, being aggressive, and all of a sudden your playstyle changes. Then you have to even adapt to that change. And to adapt to that change, we have already seen one prime team, which is iQOO OGxTSG, in the previous tournament itself. They did the same mistake from aggression to defensive plays, and they paid a hefty price for it. And I'm hoping that Team Elite, they do not follow the same track. Even iQOO OGxTSG is not following the same track.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the exact answer I was expecting from you, because OGxTSG, even this is one of those teams who have learned the lesson the hard way, and look at how strong they're coming back. They've already got 54 eliminations in 3 games, and it seems like they're not going to stop anytime soon. But at the same time, at ZUIPTS, this is one of those teams I'm kind of inclining towards being a fan, because they're so well composed. They know when to take a fight. They know a good fight and a bad fight. But at the same time, when there's somebody coming ahead in front of them, they're so well prepared as well.
You know, I really like to say this one thing for them. They have the X factor. Previously, they were known the team called as Team X, and now they're called at ZUIPTS. And the way they're playing it, they're just super spot on. Even in the first game, they played it very slow. Purgatory was one of the maps where if they had taken the dip, the lower ranges, most of them get punished. But they had the man-count advantage, and sticking together as a single unit helped them rotate around, get those elimination points, even though it was not a frag-heavy game, but they dominated just by getting the BOOYAH. So that's the kind of impact you get after just getting the BOOYAH in your pocket. So hopefully, moving further, we can see at ZUIPTS as well, upping the ante and getting those eliminations, because I would love to see some skirmishes early on itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Now with this, right, we also have this thing of answering what the audience have to ask. Casters,
sure,
what is your take on Pahadi's improvement? Now, when there's a legend who lives amongst them all, there's no need for us to speak about his improvements. It's all about the praises is what I believe. But yes, again, time and again, when given a chance, he evolves into something bigger. He's still that sniper to watch out for. And I do believe that this is where I rest my case. But at the same time, Ozura, your take on this?
You know, 2025 was the last time Pahadi picked that trophy of being the best sniper, right, in India. And now the tag is on to Mafia. So defeating him is going to take some task, but I believe he's already up to it. The improvement is massive, and the way he's providing the support for his team is just crazy good. And I'm hoping in the nearby future as well, the improvement keeps happening as he's just evolving, like you rightly mentioned, and the evolution should not stop. If it stops, then it's going to regress. All you have to do is keep progressing forward.
I mean, the one more thing about Pahadi is he's got so much of experience, right? So now he becomes the senior of the lot. So until now, he had to train people. He had to make sure that they don't feel the pressure and all those stuff. But now he's got one set of a team which is so good that probably he'll have to just worry about making sure he cracks some skulls out there. But with this, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be heading into a short break to make sure that your predictions are put right. Share it among your friends. We're going to be back very, very soon.
On the way when you do find me other way, the time ain't coming down, wait for the
He'll be on the next one easy. He'll be on the next one easy.
Well, with a slight bit of hiccup, we are back once again. And well, Arka, we had a very nice conversation on how the teams are performing in general. But the first 3 games, they're speaking a different story altogether. So I'm just hoping the other underdog teams, they buckle up because 3 games are already done and the halfway mark is long gone. This is going to be the 4th game in the map of Bermuda. And Bermuda, we all know, it's a vanilla map. So basics are going to be stuck to words. But again, those basics can also be uprooted. And well, whether you can tackle the situation or not, we'll see that real soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, at the same time, I'm also looking forward to see what the bottom teams will be able to bring on table because Team SMR, they're still on the single digit. They need to wake up. Otherwise, they might getting eliminated. But with all of this, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be jumping into the map of Bermuda where the default map is just going to make sure that every other player, every other team puts a lot of points on the table. And then and only then will they be able to make it into the next round.
Exactly, skewed path. And it's just lovely to look at the way teams are going to head towards their following locations. And Cape Town, Team Elite, all right, I can see them already heading towards the very area. All right, an initial point of contact where Cropsy, he's heading very close to peak just to see what's happening there. Kotoatua, I believe one of the places where Obito can head towards, and Sentosa is one of the places where teams, if they head towards, then it's good enough because you can revive your team and get back the entire action. But there's drop clashes happening towards Clock Tower. So let's see how well teams can go ahead and clock that in.
What about peak? No action whatsoever. But for now, SA2L, they lose Bunny as they land first. But at the same time, they need to retaliate. As they fall back, they see that 2 players are rushing in. Nu tries to do his best. He also gets taken down. Troll and Jack will now have to hold on to their horses. Jack, for now, he looks at the opponents. He knows there's a vending machine right below him. He goes into loot. The farming is up. Gets that ump. Now he needs to jump down and just head to that vending machine. And then only then can he bring his teammates back.
FIREEYES Glory very close to the vicinity as well. The W squad, they're still running around trying to get good weapons. Aditya, AC-94, not at all a good weapon. All you have to do is wait for a better one. And on the other end, FIREEYES Glory, they're just still running around trying to chase where the opponents can be seen. Another house conquered just to get that loot. But there's one player lurking in the shadows. One member of SA2L still lingering around trying to get that opportunity of getting an opponent. But well, Vixto has already been taken down. Sidhu, can he do something about the situation as 3 members are bouncing towards him?
Sidhu looks for a safe haven and he gets one. He's got the deadly cock though. He can just come into an angle from where he can punish at least Rudra. And let's not forget, Rudra is also one of the players to watch out for. He's done phenomenal in the previous rounds. And this time, he seems to be well prepared. W squad for now has 32 points at the 9th position. They need to make sure they get another 10 or 15 in this game so that they climb up the ladder. Because SGU are closing in quickly.
That's true. Troll, good shot onto Sidhu, and he instantly eliminates him as well. Good way to make a quick buck. And Jack is right around the corner as well. It's just constant to and fro motions where SA2L, even though they are separate by miles of a distance, still they're able to get those elimination points, which is really, really good. Shobit on the other end looks at a bird which is falling down from the sky, and this is one of the members from Team King.
Team King needs to be careful. Rakers as well. Look at them. Quick thinking. Oh, Django doesn't see Mysterious as he comes out. Mysterious by his name. Gets that knock and the confirmation. But Rakers, their quick revival is now forcing them to get into another fight. Flash exposes himself and immediately falls back. A clever move from that of KINGZ. They need to regroup with their team. But Shobit, it seems like he has a vague idea. He gets into cover, sees that players are flying in. Now the bird hunt might begin. But SGU champ, he comes in from another distance. And I do believe that he might look forward to third party.
That was way too premature, using the Chrono Shield at the moment where he just thought the members have seen him. Shobet, this is going to cost him a lot as his active skill is still recharging. He's trying to rush in for the fight. But before all of that, he's still looking for where the opponents are. Rackers, well, they're for sure kicking up a notch, making a lot of sound. But in the midst of all of that, they're even getting those elimination points, which is really good. But there you go, Flash getting the opportunity of plucking back the player in. And well, will he be given the opportunity? Absolutely not. Yet another elimination point coming in. And Anshu Jr., he's also banding together to get 6 points raked up for Rackers.
Look at the points table. There's been a lot of changes already. King, Rakers, TEV. These are the teams picking up fights and also adding some points. Whereas the top teams like TSG and TE still holding on so that they get the right opportunity. Now Rakers, they're trying to do their best. Django comes out and eventually he's coming into the crosshair. He gets taken down. A sad end for them, but Rakers, they're going to be happy, man, because they've got 7 already and they can count more if they hold that position.
But there's another team, Team Evolution. Still around the corner, trying to take a fight. But wait a second, Team Elite. They're rushing at the throats of Sidhu, and Sidhu, he's taken an energizing inhaler, and I believe it's not going to help against a 1v2 situation. Even though Piccolo, he tried his level best with the micro Uzi to deal a lot of damage, but unfortunately that could not happen. The team effort is counting in, and Team L, so far they have raked up 75 total points, and that's really good for them. But for sure they would aim for the first spot, and to reach there, you have to take down iQOO, OGxTSG.
The top spot, but I'm worried about the bottom 3. The teams are able to put up so many points in the middle fray, right? You see Rakers, King, SATUL, all of them are doing good. FTW, yes, they did start off well, but the second and the third game not so well. But SMR on our screens right now against a fight from their close comrades, because SMR and SGU, both of them come from the same region. But this time around, SMR, they're happy because they've got 5 early points against the same team so far. But for now, ZUIPTS, they need to be careful. Rakers get into a vehicle. Kid is going to be the crosshair. Shots trying to connect. And the vehicle is on fire. But Kid still survives.
Oh my god, that was such an action movie. And Kid, he's still surviving by the skin of his teeth. There you go, the entire team. They're just rushing right in. They've seen Anshu Jr. He's on his horse galloping across, trying to run away. Flee from this battle, and that's where the self-buy comes in. But for how long can he escape this? Iconic! What a lovely way to read where the opponent is heading towards, and merry-go-round ends right here at ZUIPTS. They are raking up, they're getting those points, 8 eliminations so far, and they're looking for more. Mysterious, HP low, and he needs to heal right about now. He instantly sits down, he's healing himself, but till then Iconic is going to reach there, and Mysterious, the moment he gets to know about all of those rackets being created, he's been eliminated.
My goodness. ZUIPTS, they are doing so well for themselves. They've got 10 eliminations. They just have to revive one more player, and they've got that recall tower right next to them. Let's not forget that far away, there are some other fights taking place where SATUL are having a fun time as they take down most of the players. Stroll puts down front player of FGL. But for now, we look at another fight altogether. W Squad versus Rakers. And yet again, W Squad, they stand tall.
Oh yes, Rakers. They're not able to break those records. Anshu Jr. yet again. He's trying to run away, survive for the team. And there you go. The launch pad being utilized. King, that was a lovely battle against one. But yet again, it's a 1v2 situation. Wherever we see an individual fight happening, the team support is imminent. And the W Squad, all thanks to the team efforts, they're getting those eliminations. But there's one team, FIREEYES Glory. Unfortunately, they have been eliminated at the 12th spot. So no placement points. Damn.
This is sad. This is very, very sad if you ask me. But at the same time, they've still got 2 more games. And they need to wake up on the wrong side, on the right side of the bed probably. Because they've already woken up on the wrong one. But for now, W Squad on our screens. They've got 5 eliminations. They're looking more composed than the rest. As they got that early start. Now they can also make it inside the circle without any kind of a kerfuffle. But we look at TSG. Look at that. 1 grenade launcher. 2 men down. And the confirmation as well. And Ayush. Man, this man is living his life.
It's like free-flowing water, Arka. The state at which this team is playing is so lucid. And they're just easing themselves up. knowing that this game is theirs, and 85 points has already been brought in, so they don't have to do extra bit of hassle in order to reach towards the tipsy top. All they have to do is stay calm, stay composed, and that's how you can keep getting those eliminations. And well, the grenade launcher has been doing number of damage on the opponents, man. As long as you have that weapon, you can easily demolish the opponents.
Absolutely. But for now, there's been a very, very calm game. Until now, we saw that the teams were actually very strong when it comes to their firepower. They were inclining towards, trying to get more and more elimination points. But this time around, we see that teams are taking their time. They're just chilling for now. SHUL, they see somebody trying to fly in. Piccolo on the other side sees Roneth, puts him down. And all these teams, right, were fan favorite teams, they're all fighting with each other. It seems like they're trying to prioritize the circle and concentrate on the latter stages of the circle.
It's not only that, they're trying to even second guess where the circle is going to head towards and catch that vicinity earlier on itself. And that's where iQOO OGxTSG has already done this. But Kid, what a lovely shot onto Krish. He could not hop, he could not see where the opponent could be. And Piccolo has been taken out. Oh, this is not at all good. Pahadi getting the height advantage. Even though they have this, it's not going to be that helpful because Pahadi has been taken down, all thanks to Ronet's grenade launcher. One launcher ends a lot of lives, and that's what this dude is up to. But there is redemption coming in from the likes of Kohli. Charge buster to the face, and the opponent flat on the ground.
My goodness, Team Elite are looking unstoppable for now. The last player of OG is stucking his tail and trying to run away. Ayush needs to be careful. Now he wants to retaliate. Very low on HP.
This is done for.
Trying to survive with that UAV, trying to gain information. But Team Elite, look at them. They're going to be using glue wall melters, grenades. They're going to come in with the melees as well. This could be a little bit dangerous for OG. As they step out, Cropsy puts an end to them. And that's going to be the OGs out of this game.
Oh, just 7 eliminations. Just 7. No placement points. This is disheartening for them. This just gives a lot of space for Team Elite to be at the tippy top spot. They have already done the heavy lifting. And now, more opportunities they get, the more closer they are to reach the top spot. And they're contesting for it. SHUL right in front, and SGU in the midst of all of that have been eliminated. Troll, he needs to be aware. He needs to hit all of his shots on point. As Jack, alongside Noor, they are heading on top just to get the fight accomplished. But the damage, it needs to come right about now.
SGU gets eliminated from the lobby. And this time around, we see that ZUIPTS, they are doing their best. They've got 11 eliminations. 11! And they're counting. Make it 13 even before I could complete my sentence. And it seems like in case Team Elite gets taken down, probably they will climb up the ladder. They might take that top position, and that could be what they're aiming at. Well, for the rest of it, it's SHUL versus Team Elite. The two big bulls locking on.
Cropsy!
But Cropsy gives that opening.
It was just a far off angle. There you go. The Riptide rhythm coming in, but I believe that has missed as SHUL, they're just launching themselves forward. Jack, he's gonna take a close quarter battle, but before he could even do anything, flash freezes coming right at the faces. Glue wall melters utilized, nades being tossed, the rotation being completely blinded off, but Cropsy in the midst of all of that, he's still running around trying to get at least a knock or two. It is SHUL versus Team Elite, and these arch rivals are here to claim this very spot. Who is it gonna be? Is it going to be SHUL, all thanks to the mankind advantage that they have for now? The control established, and W squad has reached very close to the vicinity. Shots fired, Cropsy still struggling, and this dude, regardless of what the situation has been brought right in front of him, he still knows how to fight.
Oh, Cropsy needs to stay alive. The last ray of hope for Team Elite gets into a vehicle, a burning one, boosts himself and gets away from this position. But sadly, he heads towards Troll and then he drives right towards the waterways. Shots coming in from both directions. Can he survive? Can he get into the building in time? Yes, he does. But a vending machine at a distance. For now, he survives, ladies and gentlemen. Team Elite still alive and kicking.
The kahunas on this lad. Even though the opponents are taking shot from the back. Oh, Sahil, the moment he spots that there's one person who has taken refuge in that house, he instantly pummels him to death. Shanku on the other end, height advantage, Winchester level 3, so you know the kind of shots this weapon can hit. It is going to be deadly, and Rackers, they're right in front. W squad, they have the height advantage, but SHUL, just one member surviving in the midst of all of this is going to be problematic. Troll, he has already been spotted, shots fired, and Troll, his HP is already halfway there. This is not at all good for SHUL. They at least needed more points in this following game, and Troll, being the solo survivor, he's flat on his belly, healing himself from that time.
No. Maxigard, he gets into works. Puts one man down, a quick revival from the opponents. And this is going to keep W squad busy. The team which is taking advantage of all this commotion is going to be Team SMR. Look at them. Slowly and steadily inching in closer, taking advantage of that high ground. But at the same time, W squad, the more they expose themselves, the more they're going to get shot at from different directions. Let's not forget that from one angle, you also have SHUL, who's waiting for an opportunity to strike. I know it's just Troll, but him as a sniper in this lobby, everybody needs to be scared.
Oh, indeed. SMR, they've made it gladly so far, and now I believe the W squad is just going to W forward in front of this team. But unfortunately, one player already falls down far off angles, HP way too low, and Rudra has been taken down before he could even go crazy. He could go bonkers. It is Team Evolution to the rescue, and SMR, they are being completely wrecked in those corners. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's all about holding the angle, and they did not have a solid compound to show for. The KINGZ army still there in the vicinity against Rackers. This is going to be a very healthy battle, and we would love to see what's going to happen next.
For the first time, we see that no T1 teams or fan favorites in the top 3 or the final 3 surviving teams. And this could be interesting. Breakers trying to do their best. They're making a small cocoon from which they can come out when the time is right. Because the circle right now is going to be the top priority for the rest of them. But KINGZ, they've got a launch pad, and that's why they're so confident. Look at how well they're stacking up that glue wall. But the glue wall melters, this could be a little bit problematic. As TVB as well, they're the center of the circle. They know they are the next closest team to the circle as well. So they're also trying to do their best to inch their way closer. Look at this circle. This is turning out to be something different, Ozora.
And Rackers, they're still trying to fight this, biding time, seeing which team is going to fight first, because they have the height advantage, and they would love to capitalize this. But Shobit making a big mistake. He's already been on the ground, but the revival is going to be imminent. Nades launch, but it's not going to do a lot of damage on the opponent. Shanku, Maxigard, and Shantanu. 3 of them, they need to band together, and King, they move up a notch. Now Team Evolution is in the middle of all of this cluster, and they are being completely picked apart. Kid alongside Anshu Jr., a couple of players still surviving, and how on earth is Team Evolution still alive? This has to be a miracle.
A miracle it is, but Team Evolution, now they're left out with just Maxigard. The sniper needs to change the tides for now. Look at how Anshu Jr. is just running away, trying to get some hard compound for himself. Next, it's got to be the waterways. The KINGZ have all foemen standing, and they want to reign supreme. They want to show that this is the throne they set upon. But for now, Anshu Jr.
Can he revive?
Be careful. Yeah, he comes back. And he knows that there's a vending machine close by. KINGZ need to get to him before he gets there. But it's not going to be easy for Anshu Jr. He tries to do his best, goes incognito, runs away from this position, but eventually gets taken down as Flash puts an end to him. And the BOOYAH for the KINGZ, and the throne for the taking. Ladies and gentlemen, this BOOYAH was exceptional for sure.
KINGZ army, lovely performance in this following game. They're going to be very happy. Yes, whatever happened in the past happened, but for sure, this game is going to give them a very nice bump in the number game alongside the position on the board as well. KINGZ army, the way they've had a switcheroo moment, that itself was exceptionally good. And KINGZ army backing that BOOYAH alongside good amount of eliminations as well. Moreover, Rackers, well, they did have one of the members alive. Unfortunately, he did not have enough Free Fire coins to bring in the fallen comrade. Just 100 to his name, and in 100 you cannot revive anyone. 12 eliminations, 12 placements. It's just a balance.
Yeah, and a good average if you ask me. 24 points in total, and that means slowly they're going to climb up the ladder, pushing the others a little bit towards the sinking pot. But this was Shantanu's exceptional sniping. Look at him, 2 players and both of them out. If not for Kit coming in closer, the story would have been a little different. And this is where I was expecting the Kings to pounce upon the single lad, but they went in from different angles. The topography was their top priority, and eventually the BOOYAH walked in their path. The MVP of this game, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be ZUIPTS, as he gets 4 eliminations for 2061 damage with 3 assists, and he's got that Oscar dash for the opponents.
That's right, Nikita, for a quicker reload. Joseph just to go ahead and disable each and everything that just is gonna put right in front of him, and J-Beams just to be a bit more chunkier. R1, a lot of information where the opponents can be, and COD, we all know the moment you sit, this LMG is going to be a sniper rifle, but the moment you stand, it's a very nice weapon to shred the opponent, and well, he has used it to perfection. ZUIPTS, ladies and gentlemen, the MVP of this game.
Yeah, looking at the rest of his squad, we see that most of them have decent contribution thanks to Casey from that of King Light, who was just making sure that everybody were healed up and running. Django as well, let's not forget that Morse when required, changing positions, Flash with that chrono. I believe that this is going to be the new default or the fan favorites whenever they play their game as well.
Imagine Django being alive at the very end, man. He had even Susie, so he could have received some quick bucks towards the end, getting those eliminations and whatnot. But eventually, things did not fold up really good for Django. Other than that, it was a lovely, lovely performance coming in. 2,171 being a sniper, all right. For sure, there's a lot of room for improvement, but it's just a small game of eliminations for them. But a huge one in terms of getting the BOOYAH. So 12-12, like we have already seen, the placement points and the BOOYAH points, both of them matching each other. And this is going to help a lot for this team to get the confidence factor in and fight all the top contenders in this lobby.
Yeah, the game standing, ladies and gentlemen, the Kings with the BOOYAH will get 24 points. Team Evolution slowly evolving themselves to make sure they climb up the ladder. They've got 23 points. Raker Esports on the other side, they've replicated, all thanks to their placement points with 23 yet again. Then we see three teams having the same amount of points. At ZUIPTS, SMR, as well as SATUL, all 3 of them with 16 points. And then comes a little bit of a disappointment.
Oh, yes. FIREEYES Glory just 4, FDW with 6, SGU Esports, they need to buckle up. Last few games left. And in all of this, if they do not perform, then I'm sorry. These 3 teams, they won't be able to qualify. And King's Army, they're already improving their statistics by just playing so well in this following game. And heading all the way towards a circle analysis to understand even better on what happened towards the final few times with these teams right in front of us. King's Army, Rackers, Team Evolution, SATUL, and SMR. All of them thought about a very nice concept of staying in the smack center, not to deviate a lot, and from there on work their way through inside the circle. And SMR, so far, they were doing a valiant job until they just had no cover for them whatsoever. And that's where they started to get pummeled down, and instantly they were taken out.
Yeah, the 4th circle. Look at the 3rd circle. No fights whatsoever. And that was the calm before the storm. Yes, the 4th circle, the fight started to pick up in the 5th one. We did see that Team SMR and SATUL, they get eliminated, allowing the other 3 to fight it out. And it all came down to, you know, the Kings just taking it all the way to the 7th circle, grabbing that BOOYAH, and eventually ending Bermuda on a good note. But with this, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe it's time for us to look at today's standings to understand where the teams are. Still at the very bottom, we see that Team SMR with 25, FIREEYES Glory. I'm shocked to see that this team lies at the very bottom. SGU Esports as well. All these 3 now will look forward to get at least 15 points in every single game.
I'm waiting for the comeback story. I'm actually waiting for the comeback story. 2 games left. And Team SMR, the way they have already qualified Bengaluru City qualifiers and they have reached here, well, they need to earn the spot at the table in order to at least say that the opponents made some mistakes, and that's where we capitalize. And for that, you have to perform. FIREEYES Glory, well, it's just 26 points, 19 eliminations, so their frag orientation is really good, but earlier on itself, just getting completely decimated is not at all a good side. They're not able to carry forward the momentum part of it. SGU Esports, I do not know what's going on with them. They have eliminations, they have placement points, but they're just not able to show up for the final circle. You need to be there in the top 4 in order to at least get the majority part of getting those placement points, and that's where they're fumbling a lot. So in order to fix that mistake, you need to be even more confident, Arka. That's what I feel. This team is lacking a lot of confidence.
Now, when it comes to confidence, my upcoming predictions are a little bit in more towards the confidence, because this is something I chose just before we started off today, right? I had a feeling that by this time we'll be able to see Rakers pick it up, TEV pick it up, as well as ZUIPTS. But at the same time, I'm also happy to see that we also have a similar thought with you, trying kind of inclining towards the T1 teams.
Well, you have to face the final boss. Truth be told, you have to face the final boss, which is iQOO, OGxTSG, Team Elite, and all those members who are currently sitting pretty at the top 3 spots. Dethrone them. Get more eliminations. And that's how you can improve your gameplay and the game style as well. Plus, to reach towards the top 9 in order to qualify, that is one thing that you need to have your eyes on, which I'm not seeing the last 3 teams doing.
Yeah. But now they've got an opportunity, as they'll be stepping into Solara, make things much more interesting, turn up the temperature, get more eliminations with a BOOYAH, and then and only then can you survive, because the last one is a randomizer and it could go your way or not. But Solara, for now, you know it. Hope you strategize well, and we are just moments away from looking at this game take off. But for now, the drop spots of this game, ladies and gentlemen, TV Tower, and we see a lot of action in that television region. I don't think so.
No, absolutely not. Nobody's going to get so much footage. So, TV Tower, 4 teams heading towards that very Dorito of a triangle. Well, I do understand that the competition is going to be super fierce, but Aquarium is open. Bayside is open. Eco Trade, if you want to rotate there as well, that as well is open. And we all know teams do lie in their resume, and the moment they lie, we can catch hold of them very soon. So the IGLs, well, they have already made a very nice pact of telling us some wrong information of where they're going to head towards, but we will catch hold of them real soon.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, I want the teams to go into the drop locations. I really want them to go and get involved in a bit of an entertainment, because see, ultimately you need to get some eliminations, especially for the teams in the bottom. This pressure is going to push them to get much more nervous, and only by converting fights and gaining confidence in them can they move forward. With this being told, Azora, I believe it's time for our audience to also leave their predictions.
Oh yes, your predictions. Please type it right in so that we can also verify and see which player has or which viewer has gotten it right. But in any which case, in 8 seconds, things are going to launch right in towards the map of Solara, and we all are excited for this theme park of a map so that we all can witness that one thing that was there in the resume, that they are going to land towards TV Tower for more action.
Action it is, ladies and gentlemen, the map of Solara, where the sun shines the brightest, and the flight path starting all the way between HUD and Studio, heading towards the Delta L region. So I do believe that a chance of an early skirmish seems to be high on the horizon. TV Tower, there it is, only SA2L for now. They're going to be going towards them. TEV, it seems like they're flying over it, but they're too strong. I think they're going to head towards Casa Vista.
Oh, smart decisions being made by the teams. And I can see at ZUIPTS already very close towards Bloomtown. And if they see a team fighting, they can instantly head there and take the fight, take the skirmish. But there's one problem that 1 HP KO bot has been facing for so long. That is the man count disadvantage. FTW, they are stranded left around the corner, and 3 players are bouncing right at him. FIREEYES Glory, okay, we are seeing a comeback. We are absolutely gonna be witnessing something very historical today. And FIREEYES Glory, I believe they're already on to a really good start.
Oh, absolutely. At Archway, they're singing the songs of glory. But for now, we'll look at TSG OG. This is one of those teams. Look at them, still interested in a fight. And they head on. This is where Light is going to be very light on his shoulder. ZZO, in the previous game, he was the MVP and he gets punished. And that's got to be Krish stating that I live strong here. But at the same time, they get only 3 eliminations as the teammates are far away. It's going to be Shaurya towards the Bayside region.
That was a baby toy that he's using just to move further. And that's an emote. That was funny to watch. But there's something not funny going on here.
Oh no.
The business is absolutely serious as SGU. They have caught a couple of players. FTW, no matter where they go, all they see is opponents and they have been eliminated.
This is disheartening. This is absolutely disheartening. FTW, the way they started the day and the way they're heading towards, I don't think so. It's going to be a day where they're going to end up cherishing. But at the same time, we see that Cropsy shows us what an assaulter can do. Puts down Aditya. But the glue wall was a little wrong, and Rudra, since he could not revive his teammates, now will have to fall back. Kohli says, Cropsy, wait for me as I come in with the electrotherapy. And Cropsy says, it's time for hunting.
Oh, that's right. Couple of players right in front. Piccolo charging further and further in, trying to breathe on the necks of the opponent. Rudra, Spark, both of them inside the house. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. Charge buster in the face, and Kohli gets it straight on the target. Spark is going to fall down too. There was a time where they could bubble dance, but unfortunately against 3 members, you cannot do that. It's just impossible. You have to be Vasana in order to pull that 1v3.
Vasana it is for now, but Team Elite, look at them. They're having a very, very good time. FIREEYES, we spoke about them previously, and now it seems like they're on the receiving end of things. SMA slowly recovering from what they had done before. Now they've got 3 early eliminations. 28 points, just one shy of FIREEYES Gaming. If these two teams clash it out, to be frank, I do believe that one amongst them might end up at the very bottom and not qualifying.
All you have to do is get a 20-pointer of a game in this following one. 20-pointer, and they can take down even SGU. Get that spot towards the 9th. But here's the factor where I can go ahead and weigh things even more deadly. That is, FIREEYES Glory, they have activated themselves. So SMR, the competition is going to be ruthless. So might as well be prepared for this one. At ZUIPTS, they're already there towards the 4th spot, and they're pretty happy about their very area. And they're just dominating, capitalizing, seeing yet another opportunity. And the moment they see that, they embark, they get those points. And well, SGU, now they head all the way back just to reset and get those weapons once again.
SGU is taking an unnecessary fight yet again after losing Gaib. I see that one of their players, Afiz, is still looking forward for a fight when Gaib would have already given that information, and I don't understand why they're doing it. Again, 6 early eliminations, good for them, but in case the final player gets taken down, oh my god, which I just completed to say, and they get eliminated. 41 points is what they've got totally after this game completes, but have they done enough?
They can still outsmart the opponents. FIREEYES Glory. Well, this is the game where they can at least get good amount of eliminations, and they're very quick to go for a third party. And that's where FIREEYES Glory, look at the way they're taking the fight against the top contenders. iQOO, OGxTSG, Ronit in front. He has the grenade launcher in his hand, and we all know what happens next. 1 launcher, 2 players. Both of them fall down like flies. And Ronit, this man is unstoppable. Someone take him down, but there's no one who can match his caliber. One player still stuck, stranded on top, and he's hoping for his dear life. There's no one who's gonna chase him.
Oh my god, look at Ronit's face. He's so calm as a cucumber. And look at how composed he is even at this point of time. He knows every single move. He's a well set up lad. Spark is location compromised. Even before he could think of launching that, Ayush comes in from the other side and says, save that bullet. As the rest of the squad, they survive. They're doing good. OGxTSG, they've got 8 eliminations, and suddenly we see all the T1 teams picking up the pace in this one.
Oh yeah, picking up the pace, getting those eliminations. And they're just keeping a constant surveillance on where the opponents are heading towards, right? Constantly looking at where the weak links are, dominating against them. And we just saw a prime example right here, Ronit. My oh my, if the way he functions and he keeps doing the same thing, man, I believe Aztec can be soon dethroned by the way this lad is playing.
Bahari gets back to his shenanigans, but for now it's SQL. 2 players down already. Troll and his teammate, they need to make sure that they come in with the right kind of backup, or probably fall back from this fight to get another revival for their teammates. Nonetheless, we see the W squad, they've got 5 LM, they've got 1 player already revived, but Troll, the IGL, is trying to run away from this position, and I believe is a clever move.
As a duel, they're just meeting the same fate. as SGU, no matter where they go, they just see some kind of a team heading towards that following location, or even call in the rotation in the midst of that. Getting caught is not at all a good sight, and same thing goes for Aditya as well. He thought that he can at least survive for a longer time, but the W squad, now they're just tucking tails and trying to run away. As at ZUIPTS, they're on the pursuit. They're seeing where the opponents can be, tracking their footsteps. But Spark is pretty smart. He has the AC-80 in his hand. He's trying his level best to at least land a shot or two. But unfortunately, he needs to evacuate right about now. Else, he's going to be pummeled down with nades, with a lot of shots on top of him. But King, 1 HP, and there you go. It's just a very nice trade game in front of us.
Yeah, absolutely. The Charge Buster doing the deed, but TEV, they're going to be happy because they put on one of the players of SHUL, making sure the vicinity is empty. But as ZUIPTS, they still continue. They see Rudra showing his back, and Safik says that's enough as you heal. One more elimination going their way. And at ZUIPTS, they're doing wonderful so far. 79 points in total and 7 eliminations. This team, I do believe, is looking forward to top the table as well.
Oh, yes. At ZUIPTS, still looking for more blood, still looking for more eliminations. They have a car for the rotation as well, so all 4 players can band together, reach towards wherever they want to head towards, but they need to call in the circle. And that's one thing about Solara. You need to find the perfect house in order to be there and look at your opponents as well. If they're calling in rotation, Django unchaining himself, trying to survive the wrath of SHUL, but I don't think so. It's going to be that easy. Django still running around, trying to at least get one player knocked, but it's not going to happen that easily. Troll saves the day, not a single knock coming in from Django's hand, and that's where SHUL is going to take a sigh of relief and stay calm.
SHUL just 3 eliminations after all that hard work, and now there's a lot of gap between themselves and the circle. They'll have to make it through. Team Elite on the other side, they also have a very wild spread, if you ask me. Yes, Piccolo, he starts with a perfect knock and a confirmation, and Rakers, they realize that there are some unnecessary neighbors and they just fall back, because that's a smart move, if you ask me. You need to make sure that you survive until the end. Rakers for now, we see that Shobit is going to get taken down, and it's going to be Kohli yet again. Team Elite still in pursuit, and Rakers might be in a bit of a trouble.
They need those points. 9 already on board, but they need to take down iQOO, OGxTSG, and for that, you need to win more fights. Piccolo, fight taken, but Mysterious, he is pretty on point. HP low, Piccolo instantly healing himself, fixing his armor as well as he wants to take those fights yet again. Mysterious, he's running away for his dear life, and he's misstepped. He has miscalculated that glue wall, hence making a mistake. Anshu Jr. running away for his dear life, but it's not going to be that easy as members are swarming him around, and they have taken a couple of eliminations right at the doorstep. And well, Rackers, they could not do anything about this.
Yeah, absolutely. Team Elite, 11 eliminations. Look at them, 99 points, and they stand 1 away from a century. Oh my goodness, it is TSG who have 99 points and 1 away from a century, whereas Team Elite are 3 points short right now. Nonetheless, TEV, they've got 83. ZUIPTS 81. All these teams are still alive. And the bottoms, as they get evacuated, as they get peppered down right now, it's going to be OG as they welcome 3 more players. And this time around, Ronit needs to bring in that grenade launcher. But he gets taken on first as Sile cuts off the head of the snake.
He just knew it. If Ronit is alive, things are going to go south, and Ronit has been completely pummeled. He has been surgically eliminated from this following fight, and iQOO, OGxTSG nades been thrown in, and the throwables, they're doing number of damage on the opponents. Arjun spotting the opponent, taking him down, and that's the kind of support that he's providing. But Ayush is the only lone survivor left there, providing the heal, providing the revival, and Krish, he's back to his HP, but it's a 2v against the world, and Ayush, he goes down, and Team Evolution, they have evolved out of the shell, taking down iQOO, OGxTSG. Was an impossible task, but they took it, and they made sure that they are eliminated.
100 points and they get eliminated. Now there could be a new table topper emerging. It all depends on how Team Elite is going to play, but for now the KINGZ, they have been a bit of a trouble as Rakers point their crosshair towards them. It's going to be Zedzor trying to run away. He's got that electrotherapy. They know the importance of him surviving. But Shaurya trying to fly down is just going to get funneled as Jack puts him down. The confirmation follows up as well. Breakers, they've got 4 eliminations. They've been the silent in the lobby. And so is the side of SA2L. This time around, all the teams who have been doing well hold a very good spot inside the circle. And let's see how many points they can put up.
Oh, yes. Anshu Jr. Shots taken, but unfortunately, it's all in vain. There's yet another player, Troll. We have seen him. He has been spectacular with the arm. Once a shot lands onto the target, the HP is obviously just going to be away. Ruva still surviving intact. And SMR, they're calling in the rotation. But wait a second. There's a detour. There's a split push coming in. 3 players sticking together and 1 away from the herd. This can be problematic for SMR.
Yeah, absolutely. But they need to quickly cross that bridge. On the other side, we see that FIREEYES Gaming Cursed is also gatekeeping them. SA2L, they've been the more clever ones. All they do is look up to the sky and funnel whoever is trying to come down. 2 players, 2 eliminations already in their name. But MaxiGod, he could be still survived. And probably the revival, yes, will come through. SA2L on the other side, they had the complete eyes set on SMR. And for some reason, they take it away from them.
Oh, yeah. Shobit. Anshu Jr. Still calling in the rotation. Brackers slowly but surely moving inside the circle. Sahil has already spotted the shenanigans. 1 player taken down, but who is it? Pahari? Well, that's not a good side for Team Elite as well, but SA2L, they're taking a fight against Rackers and they are so far winning it. One after the other, Jack, Bunny, both of them just banding together, getting those eliminations. But Team Evolution, I believe they have made a big mistake of just launching themselves to eternity. And they want to take this fight. Anshu Jr. still sticking there, hiding, buying time. And Team Evolution, they're still running around, trying to see where the opponents are sitting.
FIREEYES now gets eliminated. And that means this is where Team SMR can make it inside the circle. KINGZ, they're also getting peppered from ZUIPTS. And that means SA2L, now they've got a good view of the circle. Let's not forget Team Elite is still silent. But the next team they pounce upon, it's going to be just decimation. TEV, Shanku is waiting. A grenade has got to be launched in. Will this do the deed? It seems like more than one is already tossed in. As ZUIPTS are going to be in a bit of a trouble. Eliminations are following up. Iconic somehow survives. The rest of the squad still lives up. But Shanku, now he needs to make it inside the circle. And the damage is going to be heavy.
Oh yes, and the Bolt Maker is just cherry on top of the cake. Just gonna make things even more worse for the opponent. Shanku, Sahil, both of them just together, trying to see where the opponents are gonna head towards. And this insurance policy of putting the glue wall earlier on itself is gonna help them reposition, but not for long. As SMR, they also thought about the same thing, but look at them. Now they're not even existing in this map.
Yep, Team SMR trying to survive for the longest time possible, but TEV, they've got 12 eliminations. Shanku still alive with that woodpecker, trying to pepper down a lot of them. Look at what Kohli does with the charge buster, puts down a lot of teams and eliminates the team as well. And now it all comes down to 4 teams, 2 underdogs. And then comes the 2 T1 teams. SA2L for the first time, they've got all 4 men standing, looking forward for the first BOOYAH they can achieve.
That's great. That's an amazing news. All the fans are going to be so happy about this. But it's about the late game shenanigans that they can pull off. They need eliminations. They need to shut down team. And Kohli, the way he's just marching forward. His HP is low. The nade was thrown right in. But Kohli is still surviving. Enhanced hammer on that M590. So 1 shot to the temple and the opponent will be poof, gone.
Oh, absolutely. Team Elite are in a bit of a trouble. As grenades and ice grenades are going to be pounced upon them. Piccolo, Kohli and Pahari. This is where Pahari needs to give that opening, and he does it. Eventually, there it is. Bunny comes in from the other side as a blessing in disguise. Team Elite now can push in. Glue wall melters coming in.
Lovely melter.
God and Shanku needs to be careful. Piccolo and Kohli is already close by. Pahari comes in a little late. Bunny puts down MaxiGod as well, leaving only Shanku alive at this point of time. Nonetheless, Team Elite, now they'll have to face SA2L. But SA2L, look at how strong they are. Every single shot being taken. First they eliminate Team Elite. Then they put down another squad. With that, they walk away with the BOOYAH. Even with us watching the game, we did not understand what happened in the final circle. All I can say is that Thanos just snapped his finger.
Meticulous actions being showcased. SA12, long awaited booyah for them. Long awaited. All they had to do was calculate the risks, see where the opponents are, and then strike when the iron is hot. And the way they did it, they swarmed the entire teams with their man count advantage. And from there on, it was just sheer execution. 17 eliminations to show for. Even though I'm missing a lot, Prince, well, I would love to see him come back into the action. But in any which case, the other composition, Jack, Noor, Troll, Bunny, all four of them performing so well. This was the most awaited booyah since the beginning of today's Group B.
Yeah, absolutely. Now again, Prince not playing and still the team performing so well. My goodness, just imagine what happens once he steps in. Pahari on the other side, he was the key holder for that of Team Elite. And Jack, what does he do? He pounces upon Kohli. And then we see that Bunny and Shanko on the other side. And sadly, one of them stepped on the landmine and got executed. And that's how, SA12, they were happy with that booyah. Nonetheless, we look at the MVP of this game, and I'm not going to be shocked because I know Jack has done so much of hard work. 8 eliminations with that Bison, and he's got 2,332 damage.
That's right. It's a lower damage rate, but I know for a fact that it is the sniper who has been doing a lot of heavy lifting. Troll, dude's been on spot with the arm. Well, his shots, they're just absolutely glorious. And the tactical market bringing in the bolt maker in the midst of all of the fight, yeah, this is the because. In any which case, Jack, lovely performances coming through. And SA12, I believe that they have finally found the sweet spot that they are lost for so long. Oh boy.
Let's look at the team stats, right? I really want to see how much they were supporting Jack because he's got that Oscar. He's all well set for the frontline assaulting as well as some quick revival. I really want to know what Noor had. Okay, that's why it is. They got that Zion. They've got Nikita for the quick reload and the Thiva for the quick res. We see more than one player. We see 3 players with the Thiva. And that makes it so hard to take down this team and eliminate them quickly.
Hey. You see 3 Thivas, you see 3 rushers? Because I very well see them. Noor, Jack, Bunny. All 3 of them just charging forward. And now you know why Troll was sitting in the back seat, eating some popcorn, taking some pot shots just to see where the opponents are heading towards. And once he gives the call, Bunny, Noor, Jack, all 3 of them just keep rushing towards. And like I mentioned, Troll, 4,272 damage being dealt by him, 3 eliminations, 6 knockdowns, through which the confirmations were imminent. Noor, in any which case, he needs to step up the elimination game nonetheless.
Yeah, I somewhere feel like they were the more clinical side as of now. Because when you see Bunny going with 7 knocks and Troll going with 6, they know that they were trying to push themselves hard at a distance itself. And let's not forget, mid-air, they took down so many players. By the time they landed on the ground, the confirmations were not that much. Due to which, yeah, the damages don't speak for itself. Nonetheless, I want to look at the game standings. I want to understand how much they've raked up in this game. They've got a total of 29 points with 17 eliminations. Team Elite is right behind them with 24 and Team Evolution with 23. If I'm a fan of somebody today, I do believe it's the comeback of Team Evolution.
Team Evolution, all right. They're making a lot of noise and I really like the factor of that. But there's a lot of mistakes being committed yet again. KINGZ Army, they had a lovely previous game. All of a sudden, they just forgot their basics. SGU, same mistakes. FTW, again, same mistakes. Hence, I believe the qualification doors are slowly turning into a window and that window is slowly shutting down. Final game left, Arka. Do you think FTW or SGU can qualify?
It's going to be a very hard call if you ask me because I have no clue how they play under pressure. And that's the sad part, right? Whenever we see underdogs play, this is the first time we witness them on such a great level. But at the same time, let's not forget that they might have been the strongest in their lobby as they qualify through. Nonetheless, I do believe that if Team SMR can make a comeback in this one, the others can also, because Team SMR before this were at the very bottom of the table and for the first time they're outside of the danger zone.
Well, you shouldn't be in the danger zone to begin with. Just perform from game number 1. You have your consistency. You keep flowing with it. And that's it. Voila. You got the end product of it. And talking about the end product in the following map of Solara, well, these 5 teams, they have for sure done a number of walking in this entire map from one third party to another, or even initiating a battle. That as well has happened a lot many times. Rackers, they unfortunately met their match and they had to evacuate from that following vicinity where Team Elite constantly kept tabs on them.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is how the cookie crumble, ladies and gentlemen. Rakers not interested in any kind of fights after the first circle. Their priority was trying to survive until the end. And SATUL on the other side are the other side of the coin. Look at them. Every single circle, they had a fight. Even in the final one, they had to put the final nail in the coffin. And eventually, they walk away with the BOOYAH. You know, the overall standing will look a little bit different, I'm for sure. Expecting that to happen as well, but at the same time, the randomizer, once that comes up, I'm waiting to see which among these teams are going to be happy with what map they're going to get.
No matter what you get, never stay at this position where you're just hoping that the final game is going to be in your map. Why be in that position?
Agreed.
Just perform well in the initial point of contact itself. The moment you know that this is the entire schedule, perform in the first game itself, because you never know when you might lead the lifeline at the very end. And right now, I do understand that those 3 teams are going to have their fingers crossed and they will be hoping for their favorite map. And if it is Bermuda, I'll be more than happy, but I'm hoping for a Nextera.
Yeah, even me too. It's either a Nextera or a Kalahari, if you ask me, because these are the 2 maps, right, where every single corner can be action-packed. So I'm hoping to see most of them come in and play over here. Nonetheless, the bottom teams, right now, the bottom 3, they need to make sure that they come up with the right kind of strategy, because the top teams, they continue to pepper down the underdogs. And that's one of the reasons why they not only have to make sure that they come into the circle early, but also at the same time try to avoid the fights with these T1 teams.
However, let's just head all the way towards today's standing and understand what's happening here. What's the Rock cooking? I mean, Team Elite by Rock, 108 points. They're 8 points above iQOO OGxTSG. Sadly, iQOO OGxTSG, they have lost their spot. But Team SMR, surprise, surprise, they have upped their gameplay from the previous one. And the performance is imminent. 3 positions. But it's not that far. They're 1 point. They're literally equalized with SU Esports alongside FTW as well. FTW 1 point shy and FIREEYES Glory. This 9th spot is going to be contested by so many teams.
Exactly. And I do believe that if FIREEYES Glory do not qualify into the next round, that could be the biggest disappointment of this group. Because they were coming in with so much of firepower, so much of expectations, especially the org itself has always chosen the best of the underdogs to come in any stage of the tournament. So hopefully we'll be able to see them do well. So it all comes down to how long can these bottom teams survive, or are they going to rely on their firepower to get at least 15 points before they get taken down? All of these numbers are going to get crunched anytime soon. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your predictions on the screen, because right now, I'm going to look at these 3 teams. Rakers, they've started to do well. They're confident. Team Elite, we saw how well they're doing. SATUL, hey man, they just got a BOOYAH.
If the stars align, FIREEYES Glory, if they win in this particular map, I'm going to say I'm going to be the prediction lord here. iQOO OGxTSG, well, they've been super consistent. And SATUL, all thanks to the previous game, I just had it like an anticipation that this team is going to perform at the very end. Because we all know how they just shape themselves into a diamond under pressure, and this team, they do not crumble at all at any given occasion, at any given instance. So that's one thing that I really love about SATUL, and same thing goes for FIREEYES Glory as well. So hoping that they have a really good game in this following one, and my predictions can go right.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also earn the right, in case FIREEYES Glory, they walk away with the BOOYAH, just give them a call and ask for a treat, man. Seriously. Being at the bottom of the table, if you're predicting them and they do come up as the team on the top, I'm going to be shocked, because that's not happened before. But ladies and gentlemen, the randomizer will choose the fate of the teams out there, as the upcoming map seems to be Kalahari. And this is where the Sniper's Paradise is going to come into play. those who have got the best of the snipers in their team, they already have a bit of a confidence. For the rest of them who have 3 rushers, watch out, my friends, because you might have a little bit of a tough run.
Hey, you think Troll is trolling? Absolutely not, brother. He's always ready for taking a fight. And the way his sniper just functions, he just waits for the arm to come into his hand and that's it. Once that baby is in his hands, that's it, man. But one place or the other, he's just going to instantly scope in, scope out, get the elimination or damage the opponent. So in either which case, you're going to have a lot of fun in the map of Kalahari. These teams don't have to worry at all, but they can spoil the game of the underdogs. Because those teams who would love to qualify at the smack bottom, they have the hopes way too high. And in order to keep that up, they need eliminations in the earlier game itself. Those skirmishes need to be on point and they need to reset even quicker than Flash.
Yeah, absolutely. Now again, the upcoming game has so much in stake. This is where I request you guys to share it among your friends. Make sure everybody can come in and be a part of this drama. Literally, this has been the best game in the group stages, man, because we have got at least 4 to 5 teams still competing for that 9th spot. And let's not forget, in case the team above them try to take it lightly, they might be the losers of the day. So let's see which among these teams walk away with the booyah and what could be the cutoff. This is where the bigger question arises, and that's why I want you guys to let us know what the cutoff can be by the end of this game.
I feel the cutoff is going to go nowhere away from 125. 125 max. That's the best I can do. That's the best I can say.
You speak about the topmost, right? Now I speak about the bottommost.
Okay, bottommost. That's very easy, man. 55 or above.
55, you think? Okay, 55 is at least 15 points in this game. Ladies and gentlemen, with that number in our mind, we're going to be stepping into the deserty island of Kalahari. We speak about the temperature going high. Here it literally does with the snipers connecting those shots. Early jumper from all the teams out there because the flight path starting all the way from Holdhampton, ending towards the sub-region. Everybody looks forward for some early skirmish.
Mammoth, that can be easily accessed as well for the teams if they want to head all the way towards a carcass and go for a loot. But command post is where I'm super interested in. Sure, I can already see his parting ways. 3 members heading towards command post and they're taking the western side. So this fight is soon going to be seen from the crossroads all the way towards command post. Let's see how well this team can perform. Shaurya instantly uses the Dinaculus just to get the information on whether there's going to be someone or not. And he instantly gets a big 0, which he's super happy about.
SA2L. Look at them. Not at all interested in any kind of fights, right? But for now, W Squad, after they lose a player and the position being somewhere at the 8th of the overall standing with 51 points, 10 shy of the team at the very bottom, even they're going to be scared with any team pushing towards them.
Whoa.
SGU, they're there to do it at a distance. We see that Russia does connect the shot and eventually gives that opening. But sadly, on the other side, Hafiz was ready with that cog. It all comes down to 2 players out here. Gahib trying to do his best. He gets that confirmation as well. And W Squad, all they need to do is rely on Rupert. And sadly, he gets jumped upon and it's Gahib who comes from the air, puts him down. And they get 3 elimination, SGU.
That was a bonker on the head, and there you go. Fire as Glory, very close to the vicinity. They already know that this area is seeing a lot of action, and cursed. Unfortunately, the IGL has stepped out from the battle, finally getting the electrotherapy. They have the HP up, and now they're rushing forward to take this fight. They need to win it. And SMR, they're very close to the vicinity. 1 member still surviving, SGU. In order to survive and be there towards the top 9, you need to have that 1 solo player as a flag bearer, and he needs to bring the entire team in. But SMR, they've already taken a lot of risks, to which the reward is nil.
2 eliminations so far. SGU, Team SMR. Speak about the teams in the bottom. All of them are clashing it out over here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at what happens. It's Cursed, who's starting to curse every other team trying to come to his crosshair. FGL, so happy with the performance so far. And let me remind you, at the bottom of the table, when you start to feel the pressure, when you become the loose cannons of the lobby, you can do wonders.
Oh, yes. Scotch Free is where they're heading towards to be. And iQOO, OGxTSG right now healing themselves. Mammoth is one of the areas which they absolutely love to head towards. And from there on, they keep working their way through. Getting the height advantage, getting the position advantage. So the rotation pattern is the same ever since the beginning. But the lightning zone or the bolt maker is going to give a lot of information. Final player surviving for Team Evolution. And Sahil, he falls like a house of cards. Team Evolution, 12th spot is where they get eliminated. Okay, a lot of room for the other teams to slowly make their mark and head all the way towards the upper rank, and the positions are wide open. Jack, lovely shots coming across, and that's just one in return, but there's a heavy retaliation coming in.
Jack immediately gets revived, the Thiva coming into play, and Troll from a distance says that's enough as he gets one more player down. As ZUIPTS, they get the revival through. We see that SGU is still pushing hard, still making sure that they pick up eliminations. But for now, they get 4 in their name. WSG, they also need to make sure they pick up the pace. They see another team in front of them in the name of KINGZ, and oh my god! Team SMR, they get eliminated with just 2 points, and that could be a little bit problematic for them.
A lot of problems strike at first. Now the others, they need to fall in order for SMR to qualify. Oh, this is not at all a good side for them. W squad on the other end, they're just making each and every fight count. Shots for now did not connect, but Django, he's still wanting to do something more. Oh, okay. I see that they want to hit the recon button and get the information on where the opponent is. But for now, they have to put all of these things aside. As Team Elite, they're taking a fight against FTW. And FTW, they're the ones who need to win this one fair and square. But it doesn't happen because MT is going to go in empty-handed.
Troll, look at them trying to stop SGU from getting more points. SHUL Noori steps up to the occasion. He gets a lot of players down. Hafiz goes in for a quick revival. And luckily, that's the only reason why now they tend to survive. Troll on the other side, he says that this is my job. He sees Hafiz behind that blue wall. Oh, he's going to wait for him to expose himself, right? Before that, Noor is like, you know what? Let me just head on over there. AC-80 is more than enough for me. Troll waiting for that opportunity. Strikes it! But Noor lands that shot first and eventually gets that knock. SHUL walk away with 10 points even before the second circle forms.
Oh, the foundational factor is so good. 10 squads remain and they have 10 eliminations dot to their name. So lovely performances coming through, and it's like a kill switch. In the final few maps they have activated it, and I believe it's more than 50 points that they have raked up in just 3 games, and this game is still progressing.
Yeah, I'm not shocked, to be frank, because I expected something like this from this team. Even though it came in late, it's come at the right time if you ask me. But for now, Rakers, they're trying to do their best. FGL Curse right in front of them, running around like a headless chicken. No idea what happened to him. And now eventually Rakers, they take great advantage of this. Let's not forget Rakers, they've also in a good position in the overall standing. They just need another 10 points, man.
Oh, Spark instantly revives one of his members. Rakers, okay. Akimbo, revolver in hand. Shobit trying to at least do a lot of damage on the opponent just to isolate and let them know that now you go back hiding and heal yourself before you take this battle. Shobit, cord in hand, shots been taken, but it's a band which is coming together. Anshu Jr. from the back off angle trying to cook that nade to perfection, but it doesn't work. Sidhu is still alive. Sidhu is just kicking around, trying to heal himself, and Anshu Jr. He's already put to end one of the members of FIREEYES Glory, and this can be yet another demise. Spark, unfortunately, he has been taken away, and well, Shobit, he just could not do much.
Hans Jr. changing the tides of this game. Now needs to be careful, but the retaliation comes in. SHUL, now they set their eyes on SGU. Put one player down. SGU have got 4 points already. Let's not forget, Team SMR is out of this game, so that means now SGU can climb up to that position. But for now, FGL, they're trying to do their best. They're going to welcome everybody with a lot of shots.
What? 1v2?
Will be getting so many, but the sad part is he has to get to that vending machine at the earliest. Ronit Very clever, very clever. He knows it's important for him to get in closer.
Oh, he
And
couldn't!
He does revive one player before getting taken down, but Shaurya midair gets finished off, and FIREEYES Glory, they get eliminated. And how many points have they got?
Oh, unfortunately, 6, I believe, won't be enough. FIREEYES Glory, they have committed a huge mistake. iQOO, OGxTSG, they were running rampant. They had the confidence factor and they just kept swarming the opponents, getting them out and eliminated. SA2L, 14 eliminations. Wow. The foundational factor of this team is insanely good. So this is making things clear that the podium position is theirs.
Very much theirs for now. Let's not forget, this calm before the storm. It brings in a lot of storylines. We see that FIREEYES, they need to make sure that they play so hard that SGU don't put any more points on the table. The FTW, they do not put any points on the table. Then and only then can they survive into the next round. FTW, they're also fighting hard. Look at them, 3 eliminations already. They've lost a player, but they've got a good position inside the circle. Or rather, just corner of the circle.
They're trying to play it very smart. They're trying to play it very passive. But you gotta get aggressive, just like Kid. M590 shot smacked on the opponent's head. And FTW, they're in a deep, deep troubled state. And wait a second, W Squad is here to save the day. Rackers, they're not having a good time. Anshul Jr. had to back out from the fight in order for the team to survive. And the will to survive is going to be chased real soon. By the end of the world, Anshul Jr. falling flat on his belly, healing himself just to stay away from another skirmish. Ragin, he's stuck, and we have seen iQOO, OGxTSG. They have been completely brutal about the situation. And there goes FTW, 9th spot. Oh my goodness!
FTW, all they could do is just put 3 points on the table. FIREEYES Glory, their hopes are still alive. All they need to do is hope that SJU Esports get eliminated early. 41 is what SJU had before we saw them. And they need 5 more to outshine that of FIREEYES Gaming. But for now, it's going to be TSG. It's just another day in the office for them. Look at them. Recovering from a fight, but at the same time, they're prepared for the other as Arjun puts another man down, but Krish is going to be the last man standing. He's still got that max 7, and there is a vending machine close by. All he needs to do is try to survive, but he runs for the coins rather, and I hope that he's not given away his location.
He's already given away the location. Look at him trying to hide, duck his way through as Bulls. He's just waiting for the bullseye. 1 shot connected to the head, and Krish, he's going to part ways from this map as well. 14 eliminations. That has been a very good game. There you go. Krish running, and he plugs 1 player. What a way to save the day. And Krish, regardless of what has happened here, even if he dies, even if he gets eliminated, it's all right. He has done the heavy lifting.
I strongly feel he's got more up his sleeve. Look at that, Rudra and the rest of his teammates are trying to do their best to climb up, and eventually Bull does it all. Through the ons. There it is. Krish gets taken down. Nonetheless, we have to look at the other side of the story, because Team Elite, even they are busy. They're busy picking up eliminations. They're so happy with what's happening around them, because they might end up being on the top of the table by the end of the day.
On the top of the food chain, and that's where they would love to be placed. But for that, you need good amount of elimination. 7 is not enough, because iQOO, OGxTSG, they have raked up 14 total eliminations. Twice as more what Team Elite has, and Team Elite is still outside the circle. And finally, the launch pad just launching themselves to eternity and reaching right inside the circle. Bayfront is the location. And Pahari instantly he puts in the glue wall, just trying to know if someone takes a shot at his teammates, they're not going to fall just like that.
An early rotation coming in from all these teams out there is going to reward them heavily. Look at their stroll. His eyes set on. The hunter is locked onto a target. But for now, SGO, wow, what a prime position. Under the shrines, not have to worry about anybody else. Hoping that the circle will fall at the same spot. They've already got 5 eliminations. They've got good early 5 points. All they need to do is get 3 more, and probably they'll survive to to the next stage, they can qualify.
I feel that it's going to fall away from all of the shrine area. And if it goes towards the open areas, that rock is going to be a safe haven. And at ZUIPTS, they're already close by. All they have to do is take a launch pad, or rather just run. But if they run, there's SA2L right on top. They have the prime spot for mayhem. And all they have to do is connect those shots onto Safik. And Safik has already been taken down. He's not been eliminated just yet. But look at the way Troll has been keeping eyes on the opponent's good shots. Number of damage been dealt on the opponent at Iconic. He's trying to heal himself. He's trying to give revival. And at ZUIPTS, well, that was not at all a good spot for them to do anything.
The more the teams fight, the better it is for SGU as they survive at the center of the circle. Team Elite, it's the Bolt Maker which is chasing them back because they know they need to survive. Ronit, look at him, just running in blind. He knows that it's got to be enough for him to put them down. Cropsy gets taken down, left out with just 2 players. Pahari can't do much. The sniper is just blocked off, and that's why his teammate also gets peppered down. And TSG, they're looking unstoppable.
Oh!
More teams out of this game.
It's out of the misery now. I believe SGU has already made it. They have cracked the code. 18% of survivability rate, all thanks to them being towards the shrines. And now they have moved all the way towards the western side of the circle. That's a really good call coming in from their end. But Bulls, he's all prepared. 22 eliminations on this team's name. And right in front is iQOO OGxTSG, Rudra. I hope he just takes his final form and does the dance of death.
The dance of death. The calm before the storm. I'm waiting to see whether it's going to be SA2L or TSG who walk away with this BOOYAH. Because both of them are worthy of it. WSQ on the other side, they're man disadvantage. SGU, they want to survive. They're not going to be bothered about getting into any kind of fight. Whereas Rudra on the other side, he dares to step out. Aditya in trouble. Ayush would have informed Ronit that there's somebody close by. In case Ronit uses his grenade launcher, the story is going to be different.
True that. Ayush just taking warning shots. He's dropping a lot of clanker, giving a lot of information onto where he is. But for now, it's already known. They have a defensive list on their name, and Ronit, he's just constantly running around trying to take that one member off from this map. There you go. Aditya, he's long gone, all thanks to Arjun. And Arjun, the way he snipes, we all have seen already in the past as well. It's history being recreated. And SGU, they're under siege. SA2L very close, and W Squad, they are yet again at the very same spot where SGU is currently present. Oh, this is turning up to be a very nice story.
Absolutely. W Squad trying to survive. SGO just around their shoulder. They also know, they also don't dare to step in out here. SA2L, they get the high ground so that they get to know more information. But OG, they're going to take control of the topography. They have the best spot in the house because they know that if they've got a launcher, they can just fly into the other side. W Squad will have to go through SGU, who have also got some good control of Shrine, who can easily make it to the other side.
Oh, yes. W Squad just biding time, trying to stay alive. Oh my goodness. The shots, the HP, it's dwindling down, but they're like, you know what, let's just keep the calm. Let's just maintain the same harmony, but it's not happening. In this very cocoon, the HP is just dropping down. And it's just constant suppressing fire coming in from SGU, and they stop the entire team. W Squad, who achieved 22 eliminations right now, is out for the count. SA2L, they might back this BOOYAH on their name. As iQOO OGxTSG, they do not have a prime spot for themselves. Troll, height advantage, but the others, they're slowly making their way all the way towards where SGU currently is. But wait, there's a detour coming in, and they're prioritizing circle first and then the fight later.
Now this is clever move if you ask me. Look at Troll, he still wants to hold that high ground because he knows that he can snipe from a distance. SGU on the other side, they're not at all bothered. They just want the top 2 position. But at the same time, SA2L, man disadvantage, is going to give their confidence a little bit lower. OG on the other side, the way they've rotated in this map is exceptional, especially this final fight. But after this, ladies and gentlemen, we all know what's going to happen. Eventually, everybody will be funneled down. Everybody will make sure that they have to take a fight.
Oh, that's right. SGU. They made it so far. They're still intact. 8 eliminations. I believe they've already done the heavy lifting, but they need more. They are just getting absolutely, completely clustered. And if they're claustrophobic, then it's problematic. So might as well come out, take the fight, but nobody is moving an inch. They know how precious is each and every spot closer to getting the booyah.
The calm yet again. For the first time, I see a calm in the 7th circle. 3 teams out there. Everybody desperate. Everybody have their own storyline. OG, they want to end up at the top of the table. SATUL, they want to make sure they reach the top 3 because they're worthy of it. SGU, they just want to stay away from the bottom 3. All 3 teams have a purpose, and this purpose is going to lead to something phenomenal in moments to come.
Oh no, Troll, he's already fallen down. But SATUL, I believe they're going to revive him real soon. Oh, the cluster. And SGU, they're watching from afar. They're still waiting for their time to shine, for their time to take the battle. As SATUL, they're doing the bidding for now. iQOO, OGxTSG, they're very close. And look at the way the compound has already been contested. SATUL playing it very smart, and that nade has already taken down Hafiz. That's a big loss coming in, and Champ instantly goes in for the revival. But Jack, what a lovely retaliation. He just does not want the opponent to breathe. But it is iQOO, OGxTSG shutting down the members of SATUL. It is SGU versus the world now, and they're making a point here. One player already fallen down, and the last man standing, Russia. Well, he tried his level best, but it is iQOO, OGxTSG taking this booyah. It's theirs. And that's what happens. The strong take whatever they want.
Oh geez, it's the orangutan. Oh, look at who's coming out there. He just wants to say hi and head back. Nonetheless, OGs, they're going to be so happy with the performance as the orangutans. They just beat their chest to say thank you. And at the same time, they're going to hold the top spot in the overall standing. This is a day to cherish for sure. The last time we saw them, they almost got eliminated from the stage.
Oh, well, 24 eliminations, thumping their chests, always prioritizing the circle, even though they could have taken the skirmish against SATUL, but they did not. They found the window of opportunity, and that's where they bagged all 3 elimination points, even though SGU had received 1 elimination right there or a knock, but the confirmation was of TSG itself. iQOO, OGxTSG, what a lovely performance. Till the very end, they kept it surgical. Ronith, his nades just bombarding the opponents. And I feel that one of the members is sick and still he's performing so well. I could see a mound of tissues. I believe he has got some cold or something. But still, look at the way he has performed.
Yeah, absolutely. Today's day has been the day of snipers. Every other sniper from a team has got an opportunity. Now we see that Arjun, yet again, for the 2nd time, becomes the MVP of the day. The Rafael Mokomaro with the Morris. A dream combination for a sniper.
Oh, yeah. And well. I believe it was Ayush, who's currently not feeling well. But overall, lovely performances, man. He did not for once showcase that he is having some sort of a problem while playing. Couple of rushers, Krish and Ayush, both of them banding together each and every time they had the opportunity. They were right there, and they always kept the fight as an open and shut case. And Ronith, well, his nades, the moment he's there inside the map present, he just makes each and everything look like smooth as a butter.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to analyze how many damage. Oh, there it is. The big reveal comes in over here, ladies and gentlemen. 8 eliminations coming in from Arjun, 7 from that of Ronith. Krish goes with 6. And 3 eliminations from Ayush. I don't think so Ayush had to do too much because the rest of his squad was doing so much. And with that, he's already done 2,400 damage. Dreamwork is dreamwork.
Outnumbered, outshined, outperformed. Kalahari was just a cherry on top of the cake. And well, iQOO, OGxTSG, I hope that they stay the same. They stay the same because aggression is one thing that they showcase so well. And it's like the entire team just works in tandem. Not a single one here or there. And SGU Esports 19 total points. Well, that's a lovely game coming in. But of course, 36-pointer of a game coming in from OGxTSG. Hence, number 1 spot. And I believe they have outsmarted even Team Elite.
Now, FIREEYES, Glory, they've got 7 points in total. Is that enough for them to survive for the next round? I don't know whether they've got enough. KINGZ Army, they get 6, but the circle analysis, ladies and gentlemen, the top 5 teams, the way they've traversed around, it's SGU who try to always prioritize the circle. Look at them. They did see a fight at Refinery, fell back to Foundation, then went back to Shrines and held on to the corner, and then after which everything fell in place.
Oh, yeah. Team Elite, look at the way they were just capitalizing constantly, Bayfront, and they knew it exactly where the circle is going to head towards, hence calling the dibs. But dibs doesn't mean that you can short get the booyah, right? And that's where iQOO OGxTSG, their rotation was so squeaky clean. Getting the height advantage first and taking pot shots at any given team, that was a beauty to watch. SATUL as well, their competition was super fierce, but in the final few circles, they did not get anything. Look at 5th and 6th circle. It was radio silence.
Yeah, absolutely. Now again, you know, this is where I see that OG have always been clever, right? You spoke about how well their foundation is when it comes to eliminations, and that's one of the reasons why they tend to at least look for at least 1 or 2 eliminations in every circle, and that's why they tend to survive the longest time possible. But with this, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the overall standing of the day to see which are the 3 teams who say goodbye from us. Ooh. Team SMR at the very bottom with 43 points. FTW, they also bid goodbye to us with 45. FIREEYES, Glory as well, they go down with 45. You did say 55, my friend, and it seems like if you had 55, probably you still not qualify.
I also mentioned 55 and above. I mean, that's one thing that I made things very clear about.
I give that to you.
iQOO OGxTSG 136, Team Elite with 122, SATUL Esports. Final few games were spectacular, hence they have the prime spot, which is 3rd with 106 points on their name. 80 ZUIPTS, 100 points on their name. Team Evolution 100, both of them tying, but it's the booyah factor that just counts right in, and that's how the 4th and 5th has been given away. The W squad, 80 points on their name. Rackers 76, KINGZ Army 71, and SGU Esports 60, all thanks to the final game. SGU qualified. Oh my god. And these are the qualified teams for week number 2.
Congratulations to all the team out there. iQOO, OGxTSG, Team Elite, SATUL Esports. At ZUIPTS, we have Team Evolution, the W squad, Rakers Esports, KINGZ Army, and SU Esports. We're going to see you guys in the upcoming weeks as you'll be entering into the knockout stages. Hope you guys get a good rest because you guys have worked hard.
Oh yes, but talking about the top performers of today, well, who can it be? I believe it's known out there. It's the OG. iQOO OGxTSG with 136 points, 97 eliminations, and couple of booyahs secured for today's day. Even though we saw such good competition coming in from all the FFC qualifying teams, but the way this invited team has performed, for sure they're going to do numbers moving forward.
Absolutely. People need to fear this team now because they've not only been on the top of the table, they've also made a statement that yes, we are well prepared now. Legend did come and show his face to his fans and saying that yes, I'm right here with the team. Good for us to see that as well. But Ronit, the way he's been playing with this team is also exceptional. Arjun with the sniper, he's doing so well. And let's not forget, the grenade launcher, if it's in his hand, you got to run.
And I believe FIREEYES Glory, they felt the same thing even in the map of Solara. The moment they saw Ronit, they're like, okay, we should just call in dibs and run away. Ronit with 24 eliminations, Pahadi with 24 eliminations. The damage factor is just amping up. 25 eliminations coming in from the likes of Jack, Krish with 26, and Arjun, the highest. Yesterday was 28 or 29, but today the records have been broken, and Arjun with 31 eliminations throughout the game. Game-changing factors, and iQOO OGxTSG, they're going to be blessed by having this player in their team, man. They're blessed.
Absolutely. I just feel like, you know, every other team is forming up to be one of the best you can afford them to. And at the same time, with the competition getting much more tighter, all these teams showcasing their 100%, we can expect a lot of drama. We can expect a lot of good action throughout this tournament, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I request you guys to subscribe if you're new, but at the same time, share the stream among your friends. Hit the like button if you feel that we are doing a good job. But again, you guys know what to do. By the end of the day, it's time for you to predict who could be the table toppers of tomorrow, because some big names are coming out tomorrow.
Oh, that's right, Arka. I mean, we have always been one step ahead, right? Talking about what's going to happen next. And the way today has ended, I have a lot of expectations for tomorrow as well. Tomorrow is going to be even more crazier. We thought today we're going to have the opportunity of being the Salt Bay, but unfortunately, that's just a smaller picture. Tomorrow, we're going to see the entire movie with the popcorn, and
Yeah, absolutely. But with this, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of the day. Today's day has been phenomenal. We see OGs making a statement out here with 2 BOOYAHs. We saw Team Ellie doing really well. Pahadi, the fan following, everybody else wants to know, what do you feel about his comeback in his overall career? All of this is going to be one side of the story. But tomorrow, we have Revenant X Park, we have Total Gaming, we have some big names coming in. And let's not forget the Ahmedabad qualifiers, the Chandigarh qualifiers, the Guwahati qualifiers, and the Bhubaneswar qualifying teams. All 4 of them, all city qualifiers teams are going to be here tomorrow as well. With this, ladies and gentlemen, we say goodbye to you for the day. This is Arka. With me is going to be Azora. You guys are watching TEZ Free Fire Max India Cup 2026 Fall.
Next one, easy.